Please don't spoil the movie
by adding your own soundtrack.
And we are live, baby. Welcome back to the Late Show starring... Oh, what's my name this episode?
I hate this sexy nighttime phone radio station caller.
Welcome back.
102.9.
It's your
voice
boy.
that you're doing right now. It's making me very
It's your boy. We got that Saturday night Frank Ocean playing on the background. Go ahead and grab your girl. Slip into something sexy and do stuff. Whatever.
Okay, I forgot about our name thing. Hold on, I gotta think of my name. Hi. I am... No idea.
Hi, my name is Zinab.
Zinab? You're making things up.
No, have you been watching Love is Blind?
Oh my god, no, but everyone's talking about it.
Is
it like the best season yet?
Have you seen Love is Blind? Have you watched any of the seasons?
I think I watched it because you watched it. No. I feel like we watched it during COVID, kind of.
Yeah, the first season was COVID. You didn't watch?
I'm not into like the love shows.
Yeah,
I can't. It doesn't keep my
Girl. Okay. What I will say about, because I literally binged it in like 2 days at work. While processing applications, so I was doing my work for anybody who's listening out there who might work for a university.
Liar.
But what I will say about the show, the first season, they could never replicate it. Never.
It was good.
At no point will they be able to match what the first season offered, because that was just so off the cuff and so it's so raw and so like, wow, what is this show? We don't know what to expect here.
It's hard to find raw reality TV shows and the society that is reality TV shows.
Right. And for this one, although like Love is Blind is literally like a knockoff version, or well, I wouldn't say bootleg version because it's almost kind of better, but a copycat version of Married at First Sight. Literally, like,
you think it's better than Married at First Sight?
I think because it's on Netflix, it makes it a little bit better. Like Married at First Sight comes on Lifetime and Lifetime. So
you know that goes.
Yeah, you know, Lifetime is it's a little low budget. It can be a little low budget at times. So I don't know. I think Love is Blind is a little bit more upscale, but Married at First Sight. I just had a stroke and none of you did anything about it. Married at First Sight is the original. And Love is Blind is the copycat. But nonetheless, Love is Blind, that first season, they could not replicate it. It was so off the cuff. No one knew what to expect with this reality show. Where was it going? What is it? Like, it was just like, what? These people are living in pods and now they're engaged? Like, it was a crazy concept. So they'll never be able to replicate that. But what I will say about season 3, nothing was new here, but I think the thing that was different about season 3 was the weddings.
Okay, what was different about the weddings?
The weddings were just like explosive. I was like, what?
Drama?
What? Turns, heads, twists, flips, flops. What's going on here? Emotion.
It was more than yes or no. It was just like literally drama.
It was just like, okay, like every season you can kind of always predict like, okay, these people are going to say yes, these people are going to say no. Then you have like your up in the airs, then you have like your curveballs. I think none of them I think all of them were like curveballs. Not curveballs. All of them were like up in the airs.
Okay.
But the ones that did say no, it was just like drama. Like, okay, so there was one couple. What was her name? Nancy and Bartiz. Everybody hates Bartiz. He really got it on Twitter. Like, no one likes him. So Bartiz told Nancy, I'm spoiling the show, by the way. For anybody who hasn't watched it, stop listening right now. Okay. Bartiz tells Nancy that he doesn't want to get married. Nancy's Hispanic, right? Bartiz is half black, half white. So the moment that he told her no, it was an instant telenovela. Like, her Hispanic side of the family, like, cut up.
Oh, really?
Like, am I watching a Hispanic soap opera right now?
So he said no, she said yes.
Yes.
And then the family went wild.
Oh, my God.
They was cursing everybody out in Spanish.
Everybody was like, it was like up in arms. I was like, wait, this is drama.
You know what's funny? Because, like, at least that, like, her side of the family they're being genuine.
Oh, yeah. They
don't care about the cameras.
I was like, wait, this is good.
What were they doing? Like, they were just, like,
good.
yelling? Or
So, from jump, like when they met the families from jump, Nancy's like, she's the only girl out of like all boys or something like that.
Okay.
And she's like, who cares? I think she has like a bunch of little brothers. So the little brothers didn't like Bartiz from jump. One in particular. So then at the wedding, when the officiant is asking Bartiz, because Nancy has already said, I do. So then the officiant asks Bartiz, do you love and hold, death do you part, yada, yada, yada. And he's like, I don't. And then they cut to the brother in the background. And he's like, what do you mean I don't? What the fuck we did all this shit for? And then the mom, her mom
they're mic'd up.
Turns to him and she goes, shh. And he's like, what the fuck you mean shh? What the fuck we did all this for? And then after that, just got turned up. So then Nancy storms out, Bartiz goes after her, but then the mom goes after Nancy, and then the brother goes after the mom, and then Nancy's like, kind of like not holding it down when it comes to her family. She's like, Mom, please just like leave me alone, leave us alone, like let us talk, blah 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 blah. But the brother's like, no, why'd you bring us all here for? I want to know why you bring us all here for.
You saying that to the husband or to Nancy?
No, to Bartiz.
Okay.
The husband, sorry. And then the mom is like, I just want you to know, because she's like, I think she's from Mexico, so she has like her accent. She's like, I just want you to know that this man is not ready to accept you as a woman, and you should not be with him, and he was not ready to accept you today, and that's fine, but just know that you need to stand on your own. And then his white mom and his black dad are just like, I think we should let them talk it out on their own. And the brother's like, what the brought us here? It was just drama, and I loved it. I lived for it. It was great.
Family drama. Always.
It was good. It was good. And then Bartiz was like, you're ruining this whole thing right now, bro. You're ruining this whole thing right now, bro.
I'm ruining it. You said no.
Right. And he's like, that's literally, he's like, I'm ruining it. That's literally what he said. He was like, I'm ruining it. You're the one who said no.
Right.
And then, okay, but that wasn't even like the kicker. Now, poor Zinab.
Who's
the one where you're like, you're making this up. That's not even real.
Oh.
The internet, I feel so bad for her because the internet has really been getting into her. And I don't think it's fair. So what happened is
I think I heard about this one, but okay.
Her match or fiance was Cole, right? Think Cole's 27, I believe. Literally think textbook. You open up the dictionary.
Okay.
You type in LSU frat boy. His picture.
Yeah.
Textbook.
Yeah, bruh. Frat
like
star.
Textbook, Southern, like frat boy, Tigerland. Like he embodies it to the core.
College.
So he's a little, he's a little immature, right? Zinab, she's a little older. She's 31, so he's 27. She's 31.
No.
Which I didn't realize was she was Middle Eastern. Well, her dad's from Pakistan, I think, and her mom's British. So she looks like a white woman, but apparently she was Middle Eastern. Yeah. I didn't realize it. Once they said it, I was like, oh, I can see
I see that dash.
But until they said it, I was like, she looks like a white woman if you ask me. But anywho, so not the typical girl he's dated,
right?
Because he's LSU. He dates girls who look like BZ or whatever.
Right, he's low-key racist.
Sorority. Alpha Phi. Like he dates those girls.
Kappa.
So yeah. So he's never dated someone 5 years older than him who's half Pakistani.
Culture.
Yeah. He's not used to it, right? So her whole thing was there was another girl in the pods named Colleen that he really vibed with, who lo and behold, once everyone's revealed upon what they look like, because once they all go on their honeymoon, they're all going on their honeymoon together, right?
Yeah.
So everybody gets to meet each other for the first time. You've already met your fiance who you said yes to, but on the honeymoon is when everybody else meets everybody.
Match with who.
You meet the other people who you've also dated in the pods who you said yes to.
Oh, right.
So Cole, Zenab's fiance, sees Colleen. Colleen, by the way, son, they swore to God Colleen looked like Kim Kardashian.
Okay.
She don't. She don't. Son, they swear up and down Colleen, what's her fine white lady? She J-Lo. She Angelina Jolie. She Jennifer Aniston. She Jessica Alba. She's nothing of the sort.
Regular.
But anywho, so Colleen is the girl that Cole ultimately said no to for Zinab. Granted, he doesn't know what any of these women look like, and he sees Colleen, and she has the very much traditional white girl look to her.
Okay. Keep going. I'm going to look these people up.
She looks like an everyday white girl. people were saying she was a smoke show, blah, 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 blah. She's okay.
On the internet?
She looks no different to a girl that would have went to high school with us. She has nothing extraordinary about her look.
Oh, my goodness.
She looks like an everyday average woman. Zenab, on the other hand, in my opinion, I thought she was stunning. Okay. I thought she was beautiful. But whatever.
Keep going, yeah.
So Cole basically articulates to Zenab, he thinks that, hey, Zenab, I love you. I think you're gorgeous.
Oh, God.
But, you know, I also think Colleen's a 10. He's like, Colleen's a 10, you're a 9. Basically, he tells her that, right?
Oh, is he dead?
Right? Whole time, I don't get it because I don't even think Colleen's all that. She's mediocre at best, and I think Zenab is gorgeous. Whatever. Their whole struggle was Zenab has insecurities that are obvious. Both of her parents died when she was young. She lost her dad.
That's not Colleen, huh?
Yes.
I will punch you.
Yes. That's who they're going to bat for.
I mean, pretty girl, sure. But at Kentucky.
Yes.
This is
ordinary.
This is you know, like
ordinary.
This is Stanford 5.
Yes.
This is Stanford 10.
A Scranton 10.
A New York 5.
A New York 5.
Sorry, I'm sorry, girl. But yes.
Sorry, Colleen. Hate to do it to you, but you're okay.
And wait, and what's the girl you're talking about?
Zenab. But anywho, so Zenab has insecurity issues. I don't know. She needs therapy. She lost her mom at like 15, then her dad at 18. Both are like orphaned at like 17 years old, whatever. Girl, at that wedding, their whole issue was Cole maybe in the beginning not being as physically attracted to her as he should have been. But towards later in the relationship, he got there. She could never let it go that he had the hots for Colleen. She could never get over it, right? Girl, at the wedding, when I tell you, and they were the real up in the air couple. They were like
Zenab and
Cole.
Okay.
It was like, which way is this gonna go?
I found her yet. Okay, keep going.
It was like, which way is this gonna go? Who's gonna say yes?
She's a daughter. She's cute. Okay, I get you.
Yeah. She's real cute. Like, she's really pretty.
Yeah,
if you watch the show, you would be like, you would literally say, you would think Zenab is prettier than Colleen. But anywho. They were the real up in the air couple. You're like, which way they're going to go? Who's going to say yes? Who's going to say no? Are they both going to say yes? Towards the end, I'm like, Cole's in it. Cole, he's 100%. They have their differences, but they was rocking with each other. They had good chemistry, right?
Okay. You thought they were going to say
Girl, at that wedding.
He said no.
When I tell you Zenab ripped into his asshole.
Oh, okay.
So my God. She was, okay. The officiant's like, Cole, do you say I do? Blah, blah, blah. Cole's like, yes. And then Zenab's turn, the official's like, do you say I do? And she was like, you know what, Cole, I just think I've fallen in love with you over this course of 8 weeks or however long it's been. And after getting to know you, I really can see the type of woman that you want and that you need. And she was like, but I'm not that girl. Ooh. Throughout this entire process, you have belittled me. You have made me feel less than. You have made me feel insecure. And most and foremost, you have ruined and shattered my self-confidence.
Oh,
she said, by no means do I want to be with you, and that do I want to spend the rest of my life with you. So today I will be saying no to you.
What was his face? Was he shocked?
Oh my God. It was like literally watching like a little puppy get ran over by a car. It was so sad.
I love her for her.
And yes, okay, so, but then the gag is that all of that was said, but it was just like, but when did he do all of this, though? That was the gag. So it's just like she's saying all this, but from what we're watching as viewers, it's like, we never really got that. In the beginning, yes, when he said you were a 9 and Colleen was a 10. In the beginning, yes, but it was like they kind of worked past that. Okay. But then she was never really able to let it go. Oh. So at the reunion,
questions.
I lost my train of thought. So at the reunion, you know, this is their first time seeing each other in months, and she's hashing up old shit. And she was like, you did this. You made comments about my eating. I stopped eating because of this.
This is this
you
girl.
Were making comments about my weight. And she's saying all of this. And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Cole is like standing his ground. He's like, I never said these things.
Not I.
And then she was like, Cole, you literally And she brings up this specific instance, and she's like, Cole, literally one day we were going out to dinner later that night, and I opened the refrigerator and I pulled out 2 of those, like, you know, the cuties, like the little mini oranges.
Okay.
And I started peeling them, and he was like, you're gonna, and she was saying that this is what Cole did, and he was like, you're gonna eat those? And she was like, I mean, yeah, like, it's 2 serving size. Like, this is a serving size. Like, yeah, I'm gonna eat it. And he basically said something along like, oh, well, baby, you need to watch your weight, you know, yada, yada, yada. Like, commenting on her weight. And she was saying, like, that was a constant reoccurrence throughout their relationship. And he's like, what are you talking about? And she's emphasizing. She was like, you're so lucky, like, they didn't show this on the cameras and how you really worded me. Like, they edited all that out. And she was like, you're so lucky.
Wait, and the first time she's bringing this up is at the reunion?
Yes.
Okay.
So the first time we're hearing of all this, you know, body shaming and, you know, backing up what she said to him at the wedding. Like, this is when she's like, you know, trying to come with, you know, facts and figures and receipts. And then so Cole is like, someone please play the video.
Help me, Lord.
If you have the footage, run it back. So then the reunion goes on, yada, yada, yada. Zena brings Cole to tears because they asked, did anybody regret this experience? And Cole was like, yes, I did. And then he was like, to hear her say that I ruined her self-esteem and that I did all this and I did all that. He was boo-hooing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
This poor little
frat star.
This poor little keg kid who should be at a kegger. You know, putting roofies in all the girls' drinks. Has been brought to tears.
He's got a heart.
He's got a heart. He's got a soul. I'm like, oh, poor Cole. So then the reunion concludes, and they run the footage.
Oh, damn.
They messy. They run the footage.
The last scene of the reunion.
The reunion's over. Cut tape to the footage that Cole said, run it back, because this girl lying on me. They run it back. Okay, so they have this little conversation. This is when they reveal that her father's from Pakistan. So this is when we reveal that she's Middle Eastern. They're talking about her family. She was like, oh, my mom was from England, my dad's from Pakistan, blah, 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 blah. They're talking about all this. They're talking about how the wedding's going to go. And he's like, okay, well, when can we fly out to, you know, England and meet your family and blah, 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 blah. They're talking about all this. She goes to the refrigerator. She pulls out the cuties.
Okay, this is the scene.
Yeah. She starts peeling them. He goes, you going to eat both of those? And she's like, yeah, it's a serving size. And then he's like, okay, well, you know, we got a big dinner tonight. And he's like, we got a big steak dinner. And then she was like, okay, well, this is the first time I'm eating tonight. And then he's like, well, why is this the first time you're eating? And then she was like, oh, you don't even want to know why this is the first time I'm eating. And he's like, okay. And that's the end of it.
He walks off. He doesn't remember any of this.
That's it. But that's her. That was him body shaming. He was like, "Oh, like why are you eating 2 of those? We have a big steak dinner." And she was like, "Oh, well, this is the first time I'm eating today." And he was like, "Oh, well, why is this the first time you're eating?" And she was like, "Oh, well, you don't want to know." And he was like, oh, okay."
She's projecting.
Yes.
Poor thing.
So they ate her up after that.
Stop.
They ate her up after that. They were like, she's a narcissist. She's a master manipulator. She gaslighted him. Blah 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 blah.
She did gaslight him.
She did.
No. But I don't think she did it on purpose.
She did, but it's...
You think she did it on purpose?
No. This is what I will say as a viewer. Yes, she blew that entire scenario out of proportion. But what I will say is, who do we know that... This is just one isolated incident that we got to see. But who do we not know that he might have actually done it multiple times? Like, he might have, like, later on progressed and be like, I think you should. Like, and we didn't see it. Or maybe at the reunion, she brought up this one specific story in, like, the heat of the moment, trying to recant all of the stuff that she did. And this is just the one that she brought up. And it wasn't as serious as the other ones. Like, I was just like, we don't know. And it's like, yes, even if that wasn't the case, even if he never really body shamed her, if she perceives it that way, there's a problem. Yes. Either way, there's a problem. If that's the way she perceived it, that's how she perceived it, and she has her own insecurities. That's not our place to like to call her a narcissist and be like. I mean, yes, she probably did blow it all out of proportion, and she did, you know, gaslight him. But I don't know. It's just like, baby, we're not. Right, but what they did was hard, okay? Right. They revealed their love to the world and they shared it with everybody. I was like, that's just, this whole process isn't easy. Yeah. So I'm sure throughout it, when he called her a 9 and this other girl a 10, that was like, I'm sure there was insecurities throughout her brain, like throughout the entire show. Like, he wasn't 100% innocent in all of this.
All right, stuff builds up sometimes.
And there was literally, like, at the beginning, because... Baby, at the beginning of this, he got better. He got better towards the end. Like, he got better. But at the beginning, I was literally like,
I was just gonna go.
I was like, he needs to be like, she can't marry him.
Right.
Like at the beginning, I was like, he's a douche, but he got better.
Okay.
But in the beginning, he literally said, he was like, where's the perfect girl? Because he was like, I'm physically attracted to Colleen and emotionally attracted to Zenab. And he was like, where's my perfect girl? I was like, you're engaged to this chick. So you might want to figure that out.
Right. You put yourself here, sir. But I guess if you haven't seen Love and Blind,
Love is blind.
Love the Blind. Go ahead and go out and watch it.
Great.
Blind people need love too.
They do.
They do. That's just a general obviously thing. Oh, so did you like the show? I'll finish the question off. But
Yeah.
you loved it.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Much better. I think it was better than season 2.
Okay. I didn't hear anyone talk about season 2, but I did hear a lot of people talking about the season. Stupid.
I don't know. But the season was good.
Okay, good.
Nothing will top season 1. But
Okay.
a close
Second.
distant second. But
Cool. Okay. And I am Luke Skywalker.
Luke Skywalker?
Luke Skywalker.
Sure.
Star Wars.
Loser!
And welcome back to Please Don't Spoil the Movie.
Okay, real quick, before we dive in, I do want to know, how was Houston?
Oh, yes. It was nice. I would say it was one of my cheapest Houston trips. Hallelujah. I usually when I go to Houston, I blow like $500, $600, $700, whatever. I probably was under like $300 this trip once I got there. So I would say God bless.
Woo!
Yeah.
That's what I like to call balling on a budget, baby.
Yeah, I would say even on the first night, I only spent $50. So we went to lunch. We did like family style. We shared everything, $50.
You have an alarm going off here.
Oops. Anyway, but and then that night we went to this party that was free. It was kind of like a sentence. You know that party that's at Clark Stat's place.
Oh,
Like
Cafe Istanbul.
Yeah,
There's a party that's at
the sentence.
I'm not familiar.
Dang.
You know, I've realized now that Cafe Istanbul be like rolling every couple. I don't know how.
They had a lot of people have parties there. So you know how Clark's little sister had that little.
I know she'd be throwing parties there. The theme or the name, I'm not familiar.
Yeah, it's not that party, but it's something like I've never been, but so I'm assuming something like that. But Ascendance is like the party that happens. It happens every it's zodiac themed. So there's a Libra party, there's a Virgo party. So it's once a month, but it's mostly Black people, queer people.
Oh, that's fun.
Hipster.
This is at Cafe Istanbul.
Yes, you should.
And
I'll
they
send
have
you.
one out in Houston.
No, it's not called that, but it's the same
Similar.
thing.
Oh.
Like dance party, Black people. You wear cool outfits. It's very similar.
Oh, I want to go.
Small, hot, but yeah, the party was free. The drinks were free
Okay.
because it was sponsored by Spotify. So I guess they could figure it out. And I was like, I didn't spend no money today.
Oh, that's nice. Come on, Spotify
Yeah.
with free alcohol.
Right? What did she say? Stunning.
What?
Negroni spagliato with prosecco. Ooh, stunning. Have you not seen that TikTok?
I have no idea what's happening right now.
Jade, I will punch you in the face. Hold on, everyone. This is going to be a long episode because I have to show you this right now. Are you familiar with the new House of Dragons, Game of Thrones?
Yeah, I know that
Okay.
show.
What's your drink of choice?
The Negroni.
I was going to say the same thing.
Magliato. With Prosecco in it.
Oh, stunning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am actually really...
And people love it. A Negroni. I can't believe you haven't heard that. A Negroni spagliato with Prosecco. Ooh, stunning.
They're giving me nothing. I do want to say earlier before we started recording, I did get a text message from somebody on Hinge.
Okay.
And we're supposed to talk about that.
Okay.
Moments before we started recording.
Cut to.
I got a text message. And it said, hey, it's Matthew from Hinge. And I was like, and I was like,
Block him.
I was like, when did I give a human being my number? But I forgot.
You give a Matthew your phone
Earlier,
number.
before we started recording, I had therapy today. And every
Mental
time I go to
health.
therapy, we always talk about my dating life and how it's non-existent. And my therapist literally hates me. Sorry, I'm touching the mic and Jordan's
She
gonna
does
kill
not think
me.
that.
But yeah, and she was telling me how, she was like, why do you have all these dating apps and you're not on them and you're not responding to them? So she forced me to pull up my phone and go through all of the likes and the people who liked me on Hinge. And then, so I swiped right on somebody and then I was like, oh, just text me because I don't message people on Hinge. And then he texted me. So.
It's a white man?
Girl, yeah. How you knew?
Not how you knew. Not Matthew. Not Brad. How'd you know? How'd you know?
Not Brock.
Yeah, Brock. Matthew texted me.
I'm weak. They got black people named Matthew.
With your background.
Not my background. Hey, I love black men. They just love white women, and that is not who I am.
They don't.
So.
That's not true. You
Can't
keep
do
putting that
anything
out there,
about that.
projecting. That's what we're gonna get back.
Whatever. All right, how far into this are we? Like
30 minutes. Okay. Oh yeah, we're 30 minutes in, baby.
All right.
Don't look at me. You started a Love Is Blind podcast during this podcast.
I'm sorry.
Okay, guys, welcome back to Please Don't Spoil the Movie. And today on our show that we do, because this movie is about movies. I mean, this podcast is about movies. We are spoiling Cruel Intentions. Ay, caramba. I don't know why I said that. Okay.
Me neither.
And get that fun facts. Go get those fun facts. We're
right,
ready to do that on the love.
Just in case, you haven't heard of this film and you haven't seen it, here goes the summary. But everybody should know this movie because it's phenomenal.
Jade, I was talking about this movie with my friends while I was in Houston because the song from the movie was playing in the background. I was like, someone guess what
Was that lightning?
Probably. Oh, I missed it. I told you it was raining. A song where we're at a bar. It's about to rain really hard too. Oh my God. If you guys hear background sounds, it's thunder. I'm so sorry.
Thunder.
I hate that. A song from the movie was playing in the background. And I was like, can you guys guess what movie this song is in? No. A song this movie's in? Always do that backwards. And they were like, and I was like, they were like, name a main character from the movie. And I was like, I don't Reese Witherspoon. And they were like, no one can guess it. And I was like, we are a rare breed. We are a rare breed.
We are. Wait, what was the song? I don't recognize any song. That's
I'm really good at
from Cruel Intentions. Like I said, we're a rare breed.
We just are. I can't remember what song. I mean,
are.
but like,
Who were you amongst? I'm curious now.
it was me, Chancellor, Sam, Nick, Alyssa, and Lauren.
Okay.
But I was just like,
Jade was here.
right, she
know.
would know. I kind of thought Alyssa was gonna get it, but she didn't. And I was like, we're so white.
Jade.
We're so whitewashed. Yes.
Look what modern age pop culture has done to us.
And then Nick, he was like, oh, and let me guess it. But I guess he only knows black movies. And I was like,
What do you say? Like,
he was like, I have no idea. Like, he was like, I have no idea. And I was like, yeah, you've heard her.
Love Jones or something?
Yeah, I was like, you're just nowhere you're going to guess it. Listen, we're in a specific genre right now. It's okay. Let it go. But anywho, yes, we're doing Cool Intentions. Dive on in. You're about to I feel like you were about to say something. But, go.
I don't think.
Oh, you were saying if you've never seen this movie. I was like, I don't think a lot of people see this movie, but yeah.
Well, shame on you because honestly, first of all, if you haven't known, Reese Witherspoon is in this movie. And honestly, when I think of Reese Witherspoon, okay, obviously everyone thinks Legally Blonde. After that, probably Sweet Home Alabama. But then after that, you need to think Cruel Intentions. Like, this is like top 3 of her films.
Yeah.
And it's number 3.
She's an amazing actress. I really
Love
like
her. Love Reese. And she was born in New Orleans. I feel like a lot of people don't know that.
I did not know that.
She was born at Touro Hospital.
Random?
Same hospital we were born at.
Oh, cool. Like, randomly, or did she, like...
I think her dad was, like, a military person or something.
Okay.
I think she, like, lived here for, like, a decent amount. Like,
Cool.
3.
Okay. I'm about to say I get that vibe from her, but I guess she's making things up.
Yeah.
Okay.
She doesn't really claim us, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Anywho, summary. Antoinette, Reese Witherspoon, unwittingly becomes a pawn in Sebastian, Ryan, I never know how to say this man's last name. I think it's Philip. Ryan Phillip and Catherine Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Felipe.
Yeah. Wait, now I need to start over. Antoinette, played by Reese Witherspoon, unwittingly becomes a pawn in Sebastian, played by Ryan Phillip, and Catherine, played by Sarah Michelle Gellar, deliciously diabolical wager of sexual conquest when she writes an article in 17 magazine about how she intends to stay pure until she marries her boyfriend. However, Sebastian gets more than he bargained for as he attempts to woo Antoinette into his bed. Yes.
Hallelujah.
Fun fact.
Did you write that one, or did you get it from Wikipedia?
Google. Oh my God.
Thank you, Internet.
When I started, I was like, there's no way I could write this summary of this movie. I was like, there's no shot in hell I could write this. Because it is so... It's so intertangled with everyone's own personal gain and plots and schemes. I was like, I can't even, like, no.
Can't even begin.
Google, give me the summary. But whatever. The film is an adaptation of the 1782 novel Les Léons de Rindrox.
I bought that book. I plan on reading it eventually.
Which translates into Dangerous Liaisons in English.
I have the book.
It's a French book.
I have the book. I've not read it yet, but it's on my to-do list.
Yeah. And like we've mentioned before...
yeah. Shut the hell up.
Yeah. Like we said before, every freaking 90s movie is based on some sort of book/play.
Some kind of play, right?
That was written in the freaking medieval times.
Hallelujah.
Then there's also a film that came out in 1988 called Dangerous Liaison.
Check it out. It's really good.
Yeah, which is basically like, okay, the book that it's based off of is, this movie is based off that book, whatever. And that is starring Glenn Close, Michelle Gellar, John Milkowski, Uma Thurman,
And
Keanu Reeves.
A baby Keanu Reeves.
A young baby.
Baby.
And some other people. The film was released on March 5th, 1999, which was the year, baby. 1999. Cranking out them teen coming of age romantic comedies, romantic movies. 1999, that was the year. That was the year. That was Chef's Kiss.
What was another film? Just checking. Fact checking you.
10 Things I Hate About You. She's All That. Can't
Buy Me Love.
No, that was the 80s. 10 Things I Hate About You. She's All That. Jawbreakers. Never Been Kissed. Drive Me Crazy. Cruel Intentions. American Pie.
Oof.
But I'm a Cheerleader. There's more.
It's more. The list continues.
Give me a second. That's all I got for right now, but the list truly goes on.
I mean, that's a lot of movies for 1 year.
Yes. Did I say She's All That already?
You did.
Okay.
We did concur that she's all that.
But yeah,
She's
1999. There's like 3
again.
more I'm missing, and I can't remember which ones. But anywho. Okay, so now let's dive into cast. Because now I think I need to start saying the cast before we do this. So Sarah Michelle
So sorry about the
Gellar.
thunder, guys.
You think they'll be able to hear it?
Yeah, they will. They definitely will.
Really?
Yeah, this is a
Well,
soundproof.
we're not Storm. We can't control the weather. Sarah Michelle Gellar plays Catherine. Ryan Phillip, that is not how he pronounces his last name, but I don't know how to pronounce it. Plays
Philippi.
Sebastian. Reese Witherspoon plays Antoinette. Selma Blair plays Cecile. Sean Patrick Thomas, the black gentleman from Save the Last Dance. Yeah. Plays Ronald. And then Christine Baranski or something like that, the hot chick from How the Grinch Stole Christmas, plays Bunny Cadwell. And then okay, wait, I also want to point this out real quick. So you've seen the movie Dangerous Liaisons, the 1988 film. The girl who mirrors Cecile's part, Uma Thurman, her mother,
yes,
right?
Yeah,
in the 1988 film, is the therapist.
Yes, in this film. Love. So
she is the character Bunny Cadwell in the 1988 film.
Love the connection. Yeah. Totally.
So I just wanted to point that out. No one probably followed that, but that's okay. It was just
a
for
person
Jordan
from
to
the film that this movie is based off of is in this film.
Yes. So someone who plays a small role in this
a decent
adaptation of Dangerous Liaisons played a important character in the 1988 film.
Oh yes,
Dangerous
Liaisons. Yes, that. By the way, yeah. For sure.
Anywho, okay. So let's deep dive into the facts. I'm very upset because once again we are met with a film that does not have this person was up for this role, this person was up for that role, yada yada yada. Oh wait, I skipped something very important. Budget.
The budget. New York City. Manhattan.
The Upper East
The
Side.
Upper East Side, mate. I'm going to say $20 million. The budget? 20?
No.
50? Too high?
Come on. 1999. There's no explosions. It's not an action movie.
$10 million.
There we go. 10.5 million. Thank you. Jesus.
Okay, I'm going to learn one day.
Okay. Box office.
I would say 50.
Okay.
60?
Okay.
70.
75.9 million.
75.9. Okay, they did great.
They did good.
Good. Let's see what Rotten Tomatoes has this film at a 54, which I think they could bump.
Unacceptable.
I think they could bump it up to an 80.
I wouldn't give it an 80.
70?
I wouldn't give it an 80 for the ending. But
I know she hates. Someone dies at the end. Jay doesn't like when characters
That's
die.
not even. That's not even.
That's
why.
what it is.
That's not even why. Because as an adult watching this movie, I was like, "This is correct. This is how we should have done it."
Yeah.
But how it happened, I was like, "Come on, it's not valid for a death."
Oh right, the way they played
I was
it.
like, "This is it. Come on."
Right. Yeah.
But we'll get
hop
to
in.
that
Yeah.
later. Okay.
Spoil that later.
Anywho, so now the who was up for who part, blah, 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 blah. So, producers wanted Katie Holmes, chick from Dawson's Creek.
Mm-hmm.
I love Katie Holmes, you know, the guy that Tom Cruise was jumping on the couch
Yes.
for. They wanted her to play Antoinette.
I thought you were saying you love Katie Holmes for a second. I was like, okay,
No.
that's new for
She
you.
does nothing for me.
She plays who?
She
was up for Antoinette.
Who
I could see that.
who
Sure.
Reese Witherspoon plays. Yeah, I could totally see it. But the director didn't want it. Oh yeah, it was written and directed by what's his name? Roger Cumble. Sure. So the director didn't want her, and Ryan, who plays Sebastian, had already
Been casted.
been casted. He was dating Reese Witherspoon at the time.
Get out of
They
town.
literally, I'm gonna dive into how they met because it's the cutest story I've ever heard in my entire life. So, but they were already dating. And I think he was like considering her for the role, and I think he thought it would be easy, like since they're already dating,
Right. Totally.
So
Chemistry.
he was like, he went up to her and he was like, "Hey, like let's convince Reese to like be in the movie, right?" And so they took her out to get like dinner.
Oh, so this is Ryan and the producer.
yeah, this is Ryan the producer.
Okay.
And they're like, "Hey, like let's Ryan the producer, or
Yeah.
whatever. No, the director, whatever his name is,
Totally.
yeah." It's like, "Hey, like let's get her to be in the movie."
Uh-huh.
And Ryan's like, "Okay, sure, whatever." So they take her out to
Right.
dinner. They get her drunk, and they're like talking it up to her, blah 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 blah, basically. And then she's like, "No, I don't really want to do it." And then like the director basically, he's like, he gets on her hands and his knees. He's like, "Please, like I literally am begging you to be in this movie." And she's like, "Okay, sure." But basically, yeah.
Do you think she likes this movie? I wonder.
I don't know. Maybe like, you know, she had a good girl image. I don't know. Maybe she was like,
I love this movie for her.
yeah. I mean, she plays a good girl in the movie.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess maybe she just like wasn't married to the script. Like I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
she just like didn't love it. It didn't
Yeah.
speak to her. I don't know.
It's a great movie.
But-
I think it was a good choice for her.
It really was. But anywho, so yeah. And then this was also the second film that Ryan Phillip and Sarah Michelle Gellar were in together.
Ooh.
Because if you remember, and if you are a fan
Mhm.
of 1990s teen movies, they starred
Ugh.
in I Know What You Did Last Summer Together.
Oh, yeah.
The 1997 slasher horror film. And then their characters dated
Yeah.
in the film. And I think it's so funny
I think it's
that-
funny.
that, okay, I don't know. I just think it's really interesting how, who was in it? Freddie Prinze Jr., Jennifer Love Huge Tits,
Jennifer Love Huge Titsy, right?
Sarah Michelle Gellar, and then Ryan Phillips are all in this movie together. And then Ryan and Sarah didn't end up together, but their characters dated in the movie.
Right.
But Sarah and Freddie Prinze Jr. are married together in real life.
Uh-huh. You tell it's funny. Okay.
And then Sarah, Michelle Gellar, and then Ryan are in another movie together, but they still don't end up together. And then he marries Reese Witherspoon.
He married Reese Witherspoon?
Oh yeah, they were married. They have children together.
What?
Oh yeah. So fun fact of how they met. So
Yeah,
they
yeah,
were
okay.
dating when the movie. They were dating
Yeah.
when the movie had already started filming. But on Reese Witherspoon's 21st birthday, she had like a party or something.
Mm-hmm.
He came. And she noticed him from across the room. They were having a conversation at one point. And then she goes up to him and she's like, "Are you my birthday present?"
Ooh.
And he was like, something like, "I could be," or some shit like that.
Dangerous.
And the rest is history. Oh my god. And then now they have like 2 beautiful children together, and they literally mastered cloning because it looks like both of them, and the children are just so great and so cute. And they're not together anymore. They got divorced in 2007, and I really am upset about it, and I've never
Hollywood,
been able
baby.
to get over it. But I think they had a beautiful love, and I think they get along now. Oh, good.
Okay,
yeah.
look at that. I kind of just thought they after this maybe they stopped.
Oh no,
but-
they got married.
Oh, nice.
They got married.
Stunning.
Love that for them. So yeah. Okay, one more thing and I'm done. Okay. So you know the kissing scene in the movie between Selma Blair, who plays Cecile, and Sarah Michelle Gellar, who plays Catherine. They kiss in the park. You know how like in the scene they like swap saliva and you can see it. So this famous kiss.
Infamous.
Infamous, that's the word I'm looking for. The infamous kiss that won Best Category at the 2000 MTV Movie Awards.
Yeah.
Okay? The scene was an accident. It wasn't supposed to happen. Somehow it happened. And then when it happened, the I just had a stroke and none of you did anything about it. The cinematographer was like, "We can't do the scene. Like, they just kissed and there's..." No, it wasn't even the cinematographer. Somebody pointed it out. They're like, "We can't do the scene. They just kissed and there's saliva everywhere and you can see it." And the cinematographer was like, "No, we have to keep it. It's beautiful." And the director was like, "No, we have to keep it because it's hot."
Oh.
He was like, "We're not getting rid
He's
of it."
like,
I was like, "This was hot."
just snip this
was
part
like,
out for
"We're
me and
not-
leave it in my
He was like, "We're not getting
in
rid
my
of it."
trailer.
So yeah, and he was like, the scene wasn't even really supposed to happen, and then it happened, and then they swapped saliva, and someone was like, "We gotta take it out because it's gross," and he was like, "No, we're keeping it because it's hot."
So like the kissing scene in total wasn't supposed to happen.
Well, the kissing scene, I don't know, it was confusing when I read it. I think the kissing scene was like supposed to be like a little bit more subtle,
Okay.
but it wasn't. And then someone was like, "They're swapping saliva, and you can see the saliva. We have to redo it." And then someone was like, "Nah." They're like, "Nah."
I thought it was crazy. When I was watching, I was like, "This is crazy that they kept that in because it is kind of gross."
Yeah.
But everyone's kink. Okay.
Let's dive in, baby.
Let's dive in.
Ooh, I'm about to dive in.
All right, I'm tired of talking. You got the next 20 minutes.
I know. Well, let's see how far we made it. We've been doing this for 50 minutes already.
Ooh, Lord, it's gonna be a long one, baby.
Right. Thanks, Love is Blind.
Well, I dare you to edit all out.
Oh, no. You want me to?
No.
Oh, okay. No, I won't. Okay. So, thank you, Jade, for taking the first half of the pod.
You're welcome.
So, Cruel Intentions. So, the movie starts out with Sebastian at his therapist appointment. And this is the person we're talking about was in the original Dangerous Liaison. And she was the mother.
1988 film adaptation of the book Les Liaisons des Dangereux.
And I do plan on throughout this review or recap mentioning some of the parts of the book.
Jordan's seen the movie,
I
the
love it.
1988 film.
It's
Literally
drama.
the most boringest thing I've ever seen.
I love that. I just
And then you don't understand what the hell they're saying. They're literally
Love it.
talking that old New England English that no one understands.
I love that. I love that century of drama.
I hate it because I think it's just another reason to keep black people out of films.
Fair, but I do love the court and when they start having sex with each other. I'm like, how did y'all do this? Anywho, so he's at his therapist appointment. He's doing the whole. He's playing innocent. He's pretending like he's an ex-sex addict who suffers from being a little rich boy with bad parents, and he's like really playing into
so
it.
just to give a little character on who this person is or who Sebastian is. Sebastian, think of him, he's like
Elon Musk.
think of him
as
as
child.
suave yet manipulative yet cruel and like sinister and just manipulative.
Right.
Just
And
think manipulation.
we're in New York City, by the way. Super rich. He lives in Manhattan.
Spoiled, nothing better to do with his life
Then wreak havoc.
because he has everything at his fingertips.
Right.
So what else can he do? Wreak havoc.
Yes. And I'm pretty sure all these characters are in high school, so he's a high schooler too.
Oh yeah, and he's in high school.
But they all act like they're 35.
Yes.
Anywho.
This movie is Gossip Girl in film
Yes.
form. This is Gossip Girl.
This is Gossip Girl.
Think Gossip Girl.
This is the messiest episode of Gossip Girl with 20 extra minutes.
Yes. There you go.
There it is. Okay. So Sebastian's at his therapist appointment, and he's pretending to be the sweet boy. He's finally overcoming his sex addiction, blah, blah, blah. And we see the therapist get a phone call from his daughter, and she's trying to shoo Sebastian out.
Yeah, the therapist is not. She's not
a good one.
She's not into Sebastian. She's a bit of a narcissist.
She's a bit of a narcissist. She's money hungry, for sure.
Yeah, she's a narcissist.
She's in it for the money.
Well. Yeah, she's not into Sebastian. She's like, get out of my office. Your time is up. Here's my book. Get out of my office.
Exactly. So she gets a call from her daughter, who's hysterically crying, and we find out that she's upset, and she's looking on her computer.
We don't have laptops.
Yeah, right. Let's say laptop. She's looking at her computers, and she's looking at a picture of herself. I think she's holding a book, but she's like she's nude, basically. She's kind of covered, but it's like a new photo of her.
Yeah,
it's risque.
It's a new photo of her, but her body's like covered. You know how when you can like cover up your tits with your arms, and you can like squat over and cover up your vagina.
Yeah,
it's kind of like that.
And she's basically saying,
he told me he loved me, and I believed him. I'm so stupid.
Now, darling, it's all right. Just calm down, take a deep breath, step out of the circle.
Oh, would you cut your psychobabble bullshit, Mom? There's pictures of me on the internet.
What kind of pictures?
Nudie pictures. What do you think?
Slut.
She's like, wait, how could you be so stupid? Why are there new pictures of you on the internet? And then she was like, because he just said how much he loved me and how much he wanted to photograph my legs.
he told me I had great legs.
And how I had great legs. And then it clicks for the therapist that this is the gentleman that her daughter is referring to. Is
tricked by
Sebastian. Because moments prior, Sebastian was just telling the therapist how amazing her legs were and how he would like to photograph them. So it clicks for her that this culprit who has taken advantage of her daughter is Sebastian.
Right. She flips out. Sebastian's on his way out, leaving, and she like yells at him from like the second floor, like, I'm gonna get you, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And Sebastian's like, oh my God, this crazy lady and some hot, she's actually not hot, but some girl.
Hot. She was so ugly, right? Oh my God, she was so ugly.
Yeah, she's like this, she has like,
I have
a big forehead, but she has a huge forehead.
The world's largest forehead and the thinnest hair.
Yes, very thin hair. I think she had to be someone's daughter, because I was like, who casted her?
Who put her in here? Oh my God.
But Sebastian, does his little cute boy act on her, and the two go off on a date while the therapist is up screaming, being like, I rolled.
But okay, to put emphasis on what really just happened was he, for no reason whatsoever, besides his own personal pleasure and gain and fun, literally had this innocent girl who had her life ahead of her. She was going to like Princeton or some crap for college. Had her life ahead of her. He manipulated her and made her think that he was in love with her just so he can get her naked, take pictures of her and just put it on the internet.
Right.
And then the picture that he used, he takes the therapist's book.
Oh, okay. He adds it to it.
And replaces her image with her daughter's image on top, and she's naked. And in the background of the photo, you can hear,
I'm a slut.
I don't know
You're
how 1999 technology works, but it was like some kind of like, what do you even call it? Like
he might like made a website, it looked like.
Oh yeah. And on the website it's like, I'm a slut with her image. Why?
So cruel. Why? It's because I think at one point he said she was overcharging, but I'm like,
that's not a good enough reason.
Intense, dude.
That's psychotic.
It's like, what?
Why are you this crazy at 17?
It's a bit much.
I digress.
Bit much.
I would like to point out that the daughter is played by Tara Reid.
Yeah, she is. So back at the house, we meet Catherine, who was talking with Cecile, which is another main character.
Oh, okay. Cecile is played by Selma Blair. Cecile, think childish, naive, spoiled, very sexually inexperienced.
Yes. Sheltered.
And she's an idiot.
She's an idiot.
dumb.
Yes. And we meet her mother, who's like overprotective, wants the best for her daughter, wants her like to hang out with like
the most prettiest and most popular girls in school.
Yeah, she wants
her to marry rich. She's like that kind of mother, and will do anything for that to happen.
Right. So Catherine is meeting with Cecile and her mother because Catherine is starting school soon Cecile is starting school soon at Catherine's high school.
Manchester
High. And Cecile's mother wants, tips.
Doesn't it sound expensive?
Manchester.
And
so Cecile's mother wants Catherine to give Cecile tips and like show her the way to be, I don't know, the richest of the rich.
Literally to be her.
Right, exactly. So Catherine is pretending to be a saint. I think at one point she says,
well, I know this sounds corny, but whenever I feel the temptation of peer pressure, I turn to God and he helps me through the problem.
Oh, remember Catherine and Sebastian are stepsisters.
Oh, yes.
Catherine is played by Sarah Michelle Gellar. When you think of Catherine, think of, very intelligent, but also no empathy whatsoever.
Yeah.
Very self-absorbed, conceited.
she's a mean girl. She is a Regina George.
She's Regina George
with
on
no
steroids.
with no positive,
with no redemption quality.
Yes, just fakeness.
Zero redemption.
No, she is Heather Chandler.
Yes,
that's right. Yeah.
Who's that from Heather's?
Yeah,
Great.
red.
Or
She's
Heather
red.
Duke. She's Red Heather.
Red Heather. Okay, so Catherine's pretending to be insane. She's doing all this blah 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 blah. I don't know what I'm trying to say. And then Sebastian. How blah? I don't know. I lost it.
She said I lost it.
Yeah. So Sebastian enters and he starts making these like sexual innuendos towards Cecile. Cecile. Cecile's mother's disgusted and she's ready to go. So Cecile and her mother leave, and then we see Catherine being like, "Ugh, I'm so glad to see them go." She has
we see the real
Yes.
Catherine.
She has this cross necklace. She opens up, and inside of it is cocaine. She takes a bump of it.
Yes. So previously, before Cecile and her mother left, she was just basically like, "Oh, I love Jesus."
Yes.
And when I'm feeling down or I don't know what to do, I
Turn
grab
to
my
God.
cross.
Yes.
And I turn to
Emphasis
Jesus
on it.
Christ.
But the cross has cocaine in it.
But it's filled with cocaine.
Which is hilarious. Like, where did she find that? Accessory?
Where do you
It-
have cocaine? Why do you have
it's-
access to cocaine at 16?
And it's so funny that she chooses to put it in that.
Yeah,
She can put it in anything.
because like no one would think, oh yeah, there's cocaine in there.
Okay, and then we also learned that Catherine and Sebastian are step siblings, so they're parents.
Oh,
Not actual siblings, so step siblings.
that's what I meant to mention earlier. Keeping it in the realm of incest, like we did last week.
This
with
one's creepy though.
Clueless.
I agree. I don't like this one.
This step sibling relationship
It's gross.
makes freaking Cher and Josh look like freaking Greg and Marsha Brady. Okay,
Right.
like it makes them look like the Brady Bunch.
Yeah,
over
it's
here.
way.
They take
this is
incest
worse.
to the next level.
This is gross.
Is disgusting.
This is gross.
two.
And mind you, their parents are still married and they live together.
Yes.
Sebastian and
And
Cecile.
yes.
I mean, Sebastian and Catherine live together
Because at least in Clueless, their parents were divorced.
for years.
Their parents are literally still together. They are still active.
Yes.
Brother and sister.
It's weird. I wonder how long they've been step siblings. Because they're only in high school.
They're only high school.
Yes.
Anywho.
So Sebastian's like, okay, what was all that about? So Catherine tells Sebastian that she has a mission that she would like his help with. So she wants Sebastian to sleep with and ruin Cecile's reputation as a way to get revenge on Court Reynolds, who Catherine once dated and who recently dumped her to get with Cecile, I think. Or like he dumped her and now he's dating Cecile, and now Catherine wants to ruin Cecile as a way to get back at Court.
And then Sebastian's like basically like, that doesn't make any sense. Why don't you just get back at Court directly? And then she was like, I can't do that because what if it traces back to me that
I have to keep up my good girl image.
yeah, she was like, I can't afford it tracing back to me. So it just has to be Cecile.
Which is kind of like
Which literally doesn't make any sense.
Which is
it's giving anti-feminism, but whatever.
In Dangerous Liaisons, it's the exact same thing. Like that's exactly what she wants to do. She wants to ruin this girl that someone she used to date likes now. It's the exact same
Keanu Reeves?
No, it's some guy they never show.
Oh.
She used to have a relationship with. They broke it off, and now he wants to marry Cecile, that version of Cecile, which is Irma. And now she's trying to get close to Irma and ruin her reputation before they get married.
Gotcha.
Okay. So that's how that works in there. So, at first, Sebastian's like, I don't want to do it. It's way too easy. Like, boring.
It's below my pay grade.
It's below my pay grade, which is...
I'm a professional.
Also, I'm sorry, I'm going to say this. Exactly how Dangerous Liaison works. Anywho. So... he's like, no, thank you. Catherine and Sebastian throughout this are like flirting. They're doing like this weird, like, they're like really sexually charged.
The amount of sexual tension.
Yes.
It's not, I wouldn't even call it sexual tension. They're literally like dry humping each other.
Throughout the whole film.
Throughout this entire conversation.
Yeah, it's like, because the two have never slept with each other. And Sebastian really wants to sleep with Catherine. And Catherine really likes to lead Sebastian on.
Yes.
So that's the whole little back and forth that they have.
That's their whole dynamic, and it's disgusting.
Yes. So Sebastian's like, okay, I don't want to do the whole Cecile thing. I want a real challenge, which turns out to be Antoinette. And we find out...
Played by Reese Witherspoon.
We found out that she just wrote an article in a magazine called...
17 magazine, to be exact. Which is pretty high up there.
Yes, which is pretty cool.
That's like the Vogue for like 14-year-old girls.
For 17-year-olds.
17, whatever.
She wrote an article called Why I Plan to Wait. And apparently she plans to wait because she wants to fall for her virginity. She wants to wait to fall in love.
Yeah.
And she's also the daughter of the new headmaster that's going to start this new school season.
At Manchester.
And Sebastian's like, this is going to be great for my reputation. I can ruin her before the school year even starts.
I'll be a legend.
I wonder what grade they're in.
I would really hope that this is at least senior year.
I would
if
hope
not
so.
Junior year, God.
Right. I hope so.
Please.
Excuse me.
Because if they're like sophomores, I'm disgusted.
Yeah. If they're freshmen, I'll throw up.
This is concerning.
So Catherine's like, you can't do that. It's a big challenge for you. So the two, which leads the two to make a bet. So if Catherine is able to ruin Cecile's reputation.
No. If Sebastian is not able to win over Antoinette.
They didn't get there yet.
But Cecile's not in this bet.
Well, Catherine wants to ruin Cecile.
Yeah, but that's not part of the wager. The wager is, can Sebastian woo Antoinette or not?
I think there's two parts to it.
No.
I watched it today.
I watched it today too.
Oh, okay. Well, what did you get from it? So what I got from it is that if Sebastian does his deed, then that's him winning. But if Catherine ruins Cecile, that's her winning.
No.
That's how I saw it. But okay.
No.
How'd you see it?
What it is.
Agree to disagree, but go ahead.
Sebastian, all he has to do is sleep with Antoinette, played by Reese Witherspoon. If he sleeps with her, so if he wins his conquest, then Catherine gets his car, which is a
Roadster or something.
1956 Jaguar Roadster.
Some fancy
She gets his car. And then if he wins, as in if he sleeps with Antoinette, then Catherine has to sleep with him because he wants to sleep with Catherine because she is the only girl that he can't get
because she's on his level.
It is incestuous for stepbrother and sister to have intercourse.
I don't think that's why. But
I think that's why he wants her because it's like
maybe that's part of
like
it.
foreboding.
But I feel like they're on the same level. They're playing the same game.
I mean that
constantly.
too.
That's like sleeping with his peer.
I mean that too.
Anyhow.
I really don't. Cecile is literally not in this at all. I'm telling you something.
Okay, that's what.
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. So the next scene, but also, okay, I would say Catherine's plan is to ruin Cecile to get back at court.
So they have two different plans going on, two different agendas. Catherine, she wants to ruin Cecile, played by Selma Blair, and Sebastian wants to sleep with Antoinette, played by Reese Witherspoon.
And somehow it all collides.
Somehow the plans converge.
Yeah.
Later on.
So Antoinette is staying at Sebastian's aunt's house before the school starts. And we meet her. She's riding her fancy horse with the aunt. And then Sebastian has showed up there. And he's putting on his nice person act.
Yeah, he's putting on his
really
prep
leaning
school.
into it. Yeah.
I'm a well-rounded young man.
But it's also kind of, the way he plays a nice person is also almost is weird.
Yeah, it's so fake.
It's just like, he acts like he's a 12-year-old almost.
Yeah.
It's like weird. It's like, is something wrong with him?
Because he literally doesn't know how to do it. So when he acts like it, it's too much.
Yeah. It's like, oh my God.
Because his personality is one who is awful.
Yeah.
And
when he's trying to be nice, it's like...
and just evil and vile. So when he tries to play someone who's genuine and kind, it makes you uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'm like, is he on the spectrum? Because I'm confused.
And I will say, I honestly want to say, I feel like he played this role, like Ryan Phillip, like I feel like he played this role a little gay. Is it just, like...
I can see that. Yeah.
He gave me a little gay throughout the entire movie. I was just like...
Definitely metrosexual.
I was like, why are you not gay?
Why are you not? How is this not in...
How is this not a gay man?
So... Sebastian and Antoinette are off talking because he's dragged her away, and Sebastian's basically talking about her article and how he disagrees that she should
wait till
marriage.
So basically, in her manifesto, she's saying how, like, I want to wait, and
for the love of my
her
life.
reasoning behind it, she tells Sebastian, which I think is valid. I'm like, okay, sis, points are being made, but what she basically tells him is she's like, I feel like no one should experience the act of love until they are able to express and share that love. And she says, as teenagers and kids our age, I don't think, we're capable or there yet. Which is 100% true because teenagers are stupid. And she's like, we're too young to be able to, experience love. So I'm not going to express the act of love.
Right.
Because I'm 16. And I'm like, I'm with you. Makes sense.
Exactly. But Sebastian's disagreeing.
And he's like, don't knock it until you try it, sis. Basically.
And then she's like, I'm not surprised to hear that you said that because, I've been warned about you. And she's not falling for his little Mr. Nice act because someone has told her how bad of a person he is. And at first he's like, who told you that?
And she's like, I ain't no snitch.
Which I appreciate.
Just know, but she like, just know I'm already put on game about you, bruh. She's like, somebody already put me on game. I know about you. Which
throws a wrench into his plan because usually he does it really easy.
Yes.
Because usually no one knows him. But
right.
Like, oh.
So now his plan has a little roadblock.
Yes. So Sebastian has started his mission, and so has Catherine. So Catherine goes to Cecile's house, and while she's trying to go talk to her, she sees Cecile having music lessons with her music teacher, Ronald.
Played by the black guy from Save the Last Dance. What's his name? Jordan?
Sean Patrick Thomas. And so Cecile is peeping that the two have chemistry. They're like... He's like showing her how to play the cello. The cello, but he's like sitting behind her. He's like, yeah,
do it like this,
yeah,
and move it real slow against the chord.
To the point that he's playing and she's not doing it anymore. And she's just like, oh yeah,
and they're like chin on chin,
yeah,
and like, ooh, the cello, yeah,
right. And Catherine's like, okay, yeah, I know how I'm gonna ruin you, girl.
Yeah,
I'm gonna really push this.
So Catherine is literally watching the whole thing unfold, and then she walks in and she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt."
Mm-hmm. And it's basically in that scene.
Yeah.
So then, cut to, we see Sebastian meeting with his gay friend Blaine, which I guess is his drug dealer. So I guess he's also there to pick up his drugs and vent.
As you normally do when you're a drug dealer.
Exactly. So he's upset, and he's venting about the fact that Annette was warned about him.
Blaine is played by... I didn't put this in my notes. But Blaine is played by Dawson from Dawson's Creek.
Oh, Joshua Jackson.
Yeah. He's married to a black woman.
Oh, interesting. Stunning.
The chick from Queen and Slim.
Oh!
I don't know if they're married, but they have a baby together.
Oh, interesting.
She's pregnant or something.
Okay. So he's like, who who do I even know? So she's from Kansas. He's like, who do I even know from Kansas that would spill the beans about my history? And then Blaine suggests that he knows Craig McConnell, who's some kind of football star who's from Kansas. And Blaine's basically like, he must have told her. And then Sebastian's like, oh yeah, I did finger his girlfriend last year at homecoming, so he does hate me, so that must make sense. It must have been him.
Yeah. And then Blaine is like, well, you might have fingered his girlfriend, but I honestly don't think he cared that much. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Blaine is gay.
Yeah.
And so what Blaine is basically hinting at is that the person who spilled the beans, or who quote unquote they think spilled the beans, what's his name, Greg?
Yes.
Is also gay.
Mm-hmm. He is
so,
gay. Yes. Gay as hell.
And of course, he's, your typical all-American jock. Mm-hmm. So of course, he's closeted. He doesn't want the world knowing that he's in fact a homosexual.
Yes. I think he's in college.
Oh, you think they're in college?
He's at a dorm room. I think he's in college.
Oh, he might be in college.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking high school, but yeah, maybe.
Yeah. But random
Anywho,
fact. But, yeah.
random information.
So Sebastian gets a bright idea. He was like, do you mind having a little rendezvous with Blaine tonight so I can, come over and confront him?
Rendezvous.
A rendezvous. And Blaine's like, of course I can, just, pay me for it. But anywho. So Sebastian plans to come on tonight to catch the two to question him. It's funny because Blaine right after calls up Greg, and there's like a cut to Greg is in his dorm telling this like misogynist,
oh my god,
sexual story.
We cut scene to Greg, and Greg's literally like, so I pull out my penis,
right?
And I'm like, hey, insert B word. This isn't a present for grandma. Suck it. And I was like, oh my god.
Not this isn't a present for grandma.
I was like, this is literally giving Animal House 1979. Like, what year do we think? He said this isn't a present for grandma. Suck it.
Does he really say that?
Yeah, no. He literally says that. He says this isn't a present for grandma. Suck it.
And that's how the loudest guy in the room.
That's how you know he's gay.
Right, the loudest guy in the room is hiding something.
Yeah.
He's telling this big old story. That's a lie.
He's telling this story to his jock friends about how this girl, he forced her to suck his penis, and he probably didn't even enjoy it.
It didn't happen. I don't think it happened. It's fake.
Or it didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
Or it was a guy the whole
Blaine.
time.
It didn't happen. Anywho.
But nonetheless. So
Blaine calls, and he's like,
Blaine. He's like, Blaine?
Exactly.
Blaine?
So, cut to Catherine and Cecile are at a picnic in the park because Catherine is trying to, be friends with Cecile so she can get all the tea to ruin her, basically.
Oh, yeah. Next scene, they're in the park. Right?
Yes.
Cecile and Catherine.
Yeah. Yes.
Sorry.
So,
I'm catching up here.
Just repeat what I just said. Okay.
Sometimes I have to say it out loud.
Yeah. No, you're fine.
To really, for it to dig into my brain.
For sure. So, Catherine asks Cecile about Court Reynolds because, Catherine used to date Court.
Remember, Court... You just said it.
And Cecile mentions that he keeps talking about this, loser basket case that he broke up with, which is, of course, Catherine. And she, tugs her hair a little bit while she, mentions that. But anywho, Cecile reveals that she will be going to the Hamptons with Court and his family in a week or two or something like that. And she's really excited. Well, she's really nervous for it because she's never, went to first base with a guy before.
And then Catherine very nonchalantly is like, that's okay. You haven't, tried it on your girlfriends first. And Cecile's like, ew, gross, what?
Right.
And Catherine's like, come on, it happens all the time. Girls do it all the time. Turn around and we're going to practice. So Catherine basically is like, okay, so this is how you do it. We're going to practice kissing. We're in the park. This is 1999. We're socialites of the Upper East Side, but we're just going to make out in public and no one's going to question it.
Right. It's a very funny scene. But this is the scene we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, this is the scene we mentioned earlier. So Catherine and Cecile, they do a quick little peck, and it's like a cute little lingering kiss. And then Catherine's like, okay, how was that? And then Cecile's like, it was nothing. And then Catherine's like, okay, well now we're going to do it again, but this time I'm going to put my tongue in your mouth, and then you're going to massage your tongue with my tongue, and then you're going to put my tongue at the roof of your tongue, and then I'm going to swirl my tongue down your throat, and then we're going to have a French kiss.
Okay.
And then so basically, they do that, and then they literally have, might I say, one of the sexiest kisses I've seen on screen television.
It's a nice kiss. Cecile agrees.
It won. Hello, people. It won Best Kiss at the 2000 MTV Movie Awards.
That's when the MTV Awards were like fun.
That was when it
10
was
out of
at
10.
its pinnacle.
Yes, that's when it mattered.
That is when an award like that, you took an award like that home, you did something right.
Right. Now it's
you
like...
feel good about yourself.
Right. MTV
now you
Awards,
win an MTV Movie Awards.
Like whatever.
I'm like, who even watches this crap anymore?
Ugh.
Nobody.
This would be fun.
MTV was really, at one point, you know, the TV station. Now they just air ridiculousness from freaking 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. at night.
They should say they're ending MTV and rebrand.
They should rebrand MTV. Mm-hmm. All you have to do is get rid of ridiculousness. Stop showing ridiculousness from 9 a.m. to 1 a.m. and that's half the rebrand right there.
Right. MTV should have a show like Love is Blind. Like that should be their...
Yes.
Stop with the challenge.
Yes. Wait. Easy on the challenge.
There's like 32 seasons of it. Stop with the challenge. Lean into Love is Blind.
Bring back the real world. Give us shows like Love is Blind.
Yeah.
Give us
new stuff.
Yeah,
they just keep doing Jersey Shore.
It's not that hard.
They just keep doing the old stuff. I mean, I love Jersey Shore, but I'm like,
yeah, we love Jersey Shore.
Let it go.
Jersey Shore, but okay, but don't do 17 Jersey Shore spinoffs.
Right.
Either.
This generation doesn't care about Jersey Shore like we did. Yeah. I can't be watching MTV for too much longer, guys. Anywho.
Back to the movie.
Yes. So, after this...
They make out!
Yes, they make out. So, Catherine suggests after this kiss that Cecile should practice with her friend Ronald.
The piano instructor. And the music instructor.
And Catherine...
The black guy from Save the Last Dance.
Yeah. And Cecile's like, oh my God, what? Oh, you peeped that, basically? And Cecile reveals that Ronald writes her love letters, which is very cute. And that she likes him, but she doesn't want her mom to find out because her mom will literally kill her. And Catherine's like, well, make copies of the letters to give to me so, I can help you respond to these letters and hopefully eventually get you two together to go on a date. But of course, Catherine is doing this all with different intentions, not positive ones.
And Cecile's so dumb.
Yeah.
She can't even
just like, why are you...
Cecile's an idiot. Oh my God.
She's
so dumb.
She's homeschooled.
It's almost like on the verge of like, is she mentally ill? Like how stupid she is.
She's like a 12-year-old.
She literally so dumb.
I wonder if she's supposed to be like a 14-year-old because I could get that.
So I read it somewhere that she's supposed to be 15.
I could see that.
And it's so interesting because Selma Blair, the person who plays her, is 26. And it's just like, ooh, how as a 26-year-old
playing it.
I feel like that's why she plays it so dumb.
Yeah.
Because she's 26 and she's like, oh, I really have to play this so stupid because I'm 26 playing a 15-year-old. So she makes it even dumber than what it really has to be. Because at some points in the movie, for me, I feel like it's like you're almost doing too much of how stupid
she's definitely childish.
She's an idiot.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's like the girl doesn't have brain cells.
Right.
It's frustrating. But anywho.
I wonder how old Catherine and Sebastian are supposed to be.
I feel like they're supposed to be older than her. I feel like Cecile's supposed to be like a freshman. Mm-hmm. And I feel like they're giving maybe upperclassmen.
Yeah, for sure.
Senior.
Just kind of mean. But anywho. So Catherine is, continue her plan. Anywho, so back at Sebastian's aunt's house, Sebastian has lured Antoinette into the pool area, to continue his plan to seduce her. So once she comes to the pool, he gives her a gift, which is a little backpack for the new school year.
It's really nice.
It's very nice, and this convinces her to join him for a swim in the pool.
I would just like to say. Mm-hmm. When she's like, okay, I'll go put on my swimsuit, and she leaves to go put on her swimsuit, and she walks out of her room after she puts on her swimsuit, and then she walks back in, and she sprays herself with perfume.
Mm-hmm. It's like she knows what she's doing, but she's not ready to admit it. She kind of likes him.
She kind of likes him.
She's like, maybe I should put some.
She already knows what kind of person he is.
Right. Also, I will say, I think they mentioned earlier, she has a boyfriend. So that's another wrench in this whole plan.
Yes. Because in her manifesto that she wrote in 17 magazine, she talks about how she's going to wait with her boyfriend. So she has a boyfriend, but she gonna leave the room to put on some perfume. Mm-hmm. Girl, come on, Reese.
And Deja's liaison, Antoinette's character, is married.
Oh.
Yeah, back then.
Really?
Yeah. But he's like off and like I think he's fighting in the war or something like that.
Oh,
so
wow,
she's like by herself.
married.
But she's like a woman of virtue.
Understand how you were able to follow that movie because they don't speak English.
Yes, they do. It's basic. It's literally the same thing.
It's so. I feel like movies like that when they speak like that, you have to concentrate double hard.
I love it.
Like extra hard.
I love it. Love
now,
it. Love it.
We might as well put on subtitles because what are y'all saying?
Oh, I'm putting subtitles all the time. But yes.
But anywho, she goes to the pool. She puts on a swimsuit. She goes to the pool. She meets him. She walks down to the pool. It's an indoor pool in this large mansion.
Rich.
And he is booty naked.
But booty naked.
And she sees his booty cheeks.
And he turns around and he shows his penis. And he did this on purpose, obviously. I guess he was just, I wonder how long he was standing there naked. He was like, I wonder if she's gonna come back soon.
Right. And girl, he got some nerve.
Yeah, and she's like, oh my God.
She's
and he's
like, oh
like,
my God, I'm so sorry.
He's so like natural. He's like, can you turn it around?
Oh my God.
Sorry, thunder.
So
that was
scary.
terrifying. I thought it was oh boy with his butt cheeks coming to get
Coming to get us.
coming to get us.
Coming to get us.
Ooh, so
Just a little thunder and rain, everyone.
yes. So he's like, can you please turn around so I can put my swim trunks on? No biggie.
Literally, he did that on purpose.
Yes. So they're in the pool, and she calls him charming but manipulative, and she starts to quote the letter that she received about him.
Even more treacherous than he is attractive, he has never uttered a single word without some dishonorable intention. Every woman he has successfully pursued has regretted it. Stay away from him.
Again, he's like, who told you this? And she refuses to let him know.
Antoinette's like, I ain't no snitch, man.
Right. No, sir.
But he's still going on, and he's basically telling her, he's like, you know what? I envy you. I envy your loyalty and your morals. You're everything that I would want in a girlfriend.
Boo.
And then this is when she mentions that she has a boyfriend that's backpacking through Europe. And he's like, funny how you just mentioned that now. And he's basically like, look, I don't care.
Yeah.
And then she's,
like you said,
at
Europe.
that point, she was giving into it. She was giving into his BS. But then something kind of like switched in her, and she was like, honestly, you know what? I'm going to excuse myself. I'm not interested in you in that way. And she was like, you'd be lucky if I'd even want to be friends with you.
Right.
And then she gets up and she exits from the pool in her mint green swimsuit with white
one piece
outlining.
Yeah, good for her.
And it was so cute. I love that freaking swimsuit.
I love that for her. So I guess I'm assuming it's the same night after he's been ditched by
after
Antoinette.
he's been rejected.
So Sebastian has arrived at Blaine's house. So his drug dealer / gay friend who's going to sleep with Greg for him. So while he's there, he walks into the room where Greg and Blaine are having sex. He pulls back the sheets. He takes a picture of Greg and Blaine, and Greg is mortified. He's like, I will do anything.
He's like, please, he's like, look, this is the first time I've done anything like this.
He's like, yeah,
and Sebastian's like, yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. Save it for somebody who cares.
Right.
And then he's like, first and foremost, why are you talking crap about me to Antoinette?
Keep my name out of your mouth.
And Greg is like, I don't know what you're talking about, man. He's like, I never talked about you to Antoinette. And then Blaine is like, honestly, now that I think about it, he might be telling the truth. So Sebastian believes him. And he's like, okay, I'll spare you. But
this one.
What you will do for me is you will put in a good word for me to Antoinette, since y'all are so chummy and y'all are both from Kansas City. She's from Kansas City, by the way.
Kansas City,
and he's like, you're going to put a good word in for me since y'all are such good friends. And Blaine, obviously, so the word doesn't get out. Greg, excuse me. Greg, obviously, so the word doesn't get out that he's gay. He doesn't.
So in the next scene, we see Greg and Antoinette walking on the beach while he's saying all these good things about Sebastian, how he's a good guy, he has a bad rap, blah,
Girl, I really
blah,
want to say that
blah.
Greg is putting on a Broadway show.
Oh, he's really good.
Like, he is putting on the performance.
Yeah.
He's like, he's such a good guy. He has such a bad rep. And he's like, trust me, like, how
saying
long
the right thing.
He's like telling her everything. He's like, Antoinette, how long have we known each other? I would never steer you in the right direction.
Terrible.
He's like, you're like a little sister to me. Yada, yada, yada. I was like, wow.
Right.
Meanwhile, he really like hoeing her.
Right. Anything to cover
Like,
up his
he really leading
sexuality.
her into the darkness.
Mm-hmm. You're right. Not a good look. Come on, dude.
Anything to keep his little, his little secret private.
Mm-hmm.
So he's telling her everything that she
that Sebastian wants her to hear.
Correct. And then lastly, he asked Antoinette, who is the person
Who did it?
that is telling her all these horrible things about Sebastian to her. And she's like, well, Greg, excuse me. She's like, well, Greg, you can't tell. You have to swear to secrecy. And he was like, oh my God, of course. I will never tell.
Never.
I swear on my mother's life. And then moments later, he called Sebastian and was like, you'll never believe who it is.
And, which is funny. And we find out that the person who's been writing the letters to Antoinette is Cecile's messy mother.
It is, in fact, Bunny Cadwell.
Bunny Cadwell. Bunny!
Cecile's mama.
And so every time she's around Sebastian, she like literally doesn't like him.
Yeah.
So it's not too surprising because she hates him, despises him.
She's not a fan.
But for her to sit down and write a letter and send it to Antoinette, she's funny.
Yeah. So
about a child.
Yeah. So apparently Antoinette and Cecile's mom, Bunny, they met at orientation, and I guess they hit it off. And
right. She's been looking out for her ever since. Which is actually kind of nice
very nice of her.
Because, no lies are told.
No lies have been told.
Sebastian hears this. Boom, he's upset. So now, cut to, we're back at their house, Sebastian and Catherine's house. And Catherine is watching a recording of Cecile and Ronald talking. I don't know how she's got the videotape in the room. I don't know how she convinces to record them. She's like watching a recording of them hanging out. And I'm just like,
right.
Huh? Who put that there? I don't know her ways. But, and I guess she's looking for like stuff to like show to her mom. Yeah, and they're about to kiss in one of the little clips or scenes, but they don't kiss, and Catherine's pissed off. So Sebastian has arrived, and now he officially wants to help Catherine with her plan to take down Cecile to get back at Cecile's mother for writing that letter. So the updated plan now is to reveal to Cecile's mom that Cecile and Ronald like each other, so that Cecile turns to Catherine and Sebastian for help. And so Sebastian can sleep with Cecile before she goes to the Hamptons with Court in order to ruin her reputation for all that happens.
Okay, so this is where I really... This is where they lose me. So now that Sebastian knows that it was Cecile's mom who's been talking crap about him to Antoinette, he's like, okay, I'll get on the plan of you trying to sabotage Cecile. Right?
Yeah.
So now their plan is to bring to Cecile's mom. Have we gotten there yet?
Yeah.
So now their plan is to bring to Cecile's mom that Cecile and Ronald are in cahoots.
Yeah.
Cecile's mom will cut it off.
Right.
And then they'll be like, well, now Cecile and Ronald will turn to Sebastian and Catherine for help.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's unnecessary add-on.
Yeah,
I agree. I don't think it's necessary
and
to anything.
Sebastian will sleep with Cecile. What's the point of that?
I don't know why we needed Ronald.
I didn't get it.
I guess
this addition to the scheming, it didn't make any sense.
So I guess we need Sebastian because everyone knows Sebastian's a bad guy and that he'll talk about anyone he slept with. So I guess that's the point where we need Sebastian. I guess if she slept with Ronald, then who was going to tell anybody except the mom? I think it's a very long way. I guess the Catherine always wanted Sebastian to sleep with Cecile to ruin her reputation.
Who always wanted that?
I think Catherine always wanted Sebastian because from jump she was like, help me with my plan.
Right.
But I guess the way to get there is through Ronald and making them seem like that's a long way to get there.
It doesn't make any sense.
I feel like there's a lot of ways to get there, but I guess this is the way she chose this. But I guess the ultimate plan is Cecile and Sebastian have sex. Sebastian tells everyone so that it gets back to Court that his little princess is not a virgin. She's been sleeping with the whore of New York City. It's a long plan. Yeah. It's kind of confusing, but that's what we're going to go with.
This is so confusing.
It's unnecessary. The Ronald part is unnecessary because it's like, what? like why? Okay. Anywho. So the next scene, Sebastian calls Antoinette and asks to hang out with her, and she agrees. We see them like, I say that, because they're starting to like guzzy up to each other, and he's starting to wear her thin. So the next scene, Catherine meets up with Cecile's mother to tell Cecile, or to tell her that Cecile is flirting with Ronald, and she claims that she's telling her so that Cecile doesn't ruin her reputation, and so that she doesn't mess anything up with court.
And then the mom's upset because he's black.
Yeah, basically.
She's like, oh, a color?
Yeah, she's like, he's black. She's very upset about that. She's honing in on to that very minute detail.
So back at the house, she finds Ronald and Cecile taking their little, music lesson. She goes up to Ronald. She confronts him. She shows him the love notes that Ronald has been writing to Cecile. And she's like, what is this? Yeah. And then Cecile's like, oh my God, where did you get those? And she's like, don't worry about where I found them. And Cecile runs off because she's upset. And Ronald is like, look, you're misunderstanding everything that's going on. I never touched your daughter. And then Mrs. Caldwell is like, how could you do this to me? I got you off the streets. And then Ronald's like, the streets? Ma'am, I live at 59th and Park. Gotta be like the Upper East Side.
Right, gotta be something. Gotta be down the road.
I live around the corner.
Yeah, exactly.
Your penthouse apartment, I live in the next penthouse apartment next door. Like, chill out.
Like, oh.
And she's like, whatever. And then, so basically, she fires him. And he's like, I just want to let you know that I never touched your daughter. And a woman of your stature shouldn't be concerned about color. Yada, 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 yada.
She's like, I gave to a black guy.
And then she's like, I donated to Colin Powell.
Like,
Save me the racist mumbo jumbo.
He said, I am mistaken. And then as he leaves, he's like, the black man is gone. The black man is gone. Hallelujah.
I thought that part was really weird. I didn't get it.
The black man is gone. I guess he was just being like, hey, everybody. I'm sure you're happy. So on his way out, Ronald runs into Sebastian and Catherine, who give him a letter from Cecile.
Did she really have a letter for him? Or
I don't think so. I think they wrote that letter themselves. I feel like Cecile didn't really write it, but I could be wrong.
I think so too. That's what I thought.
So I guess they take Ronald back to their place, and Ronald is happy to find out that Cecile likes him back, and they convince him to write a letter back to Cecile, and they say they're gonna deliver it to her for them. And Ronald at first is like, why are y'all being so nice? Like, why are y'all doing this for? And they're like,
I feel like we just want to see Cecile happy.
Yeah, right. And
I think the hell not.
Exactly. So Ronald goes off to write the letter in a different room, and Sebastian is like, I guess has a heart-to-heart with himself. He's like, should we really continue with this plan? This is a lot. We're really gonna ruin a poor innocent girl for no reason.
Which I thought was weird, just knowing who he is as a person and all the things that he's done. Because he's like, we're about to ruin an innocent girl's life. You've been doing that this entire film.
Do that all the time.
You're doing that with Antoinette. You did that with the therapist's daughter, who did nothing to you. Right. So why right now with Cecile you have like, a heart and a conscience? Right. I don't understand. Interesting. But whatever.
I guess you can say that Antoinette's rubbing off on him, but like they haven't been hanging out that much just yet. But yeah.
And Catherine was basically like, no, we're going through this. I don't care.
No.
I don't care who it is. This is who we are. This is the kind of people that we are, and we're going to go through with it.
Right. And Sebastian's like, yeah, you're right. So let's continue. So they call up Cecile, and they're like, I want you to meet with Sebastian to help write the letter, blah, 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 blah. So the next day, or that night, we see Cecile sneaking out of her house to meet up with Sebastian so that she can write a letter to give to Ronald. So while she's writing her letter, Sebastian is getting her drunk off a Long Island iced tea, which she doesn't know what that is. And she's writing her letter back to Ronald, and Sebastian begins to seduce Cecile. He's like, let's take pictures, take your clothes off, blah, blah, blah. In the end, he gives her head.
He takes advantage of her.
He takes advantage of her.
She's so stupid.
She's so stupid.
She doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah. She's like,
and
she's drunk.
And she's drunk because he gave her Long Island iced tea,
which is
and she just thinks it's tea.
Yeah.
And she doesn't know what's going on. And at first she just thinks they're taking pictures, and then the pictures turn into him unzipping her jacket. And then that turns to him pulling down her pants and then going down on her. And yeah, she's 15.
Yeah, she's 15. So the next morning, Cecile makes it home before her mom realizes she's gone. She looks like she had
looks disheveled.
Yeah, she looks confused.
Looks like she had a wild night out.
Yes. She's so confused. So we learned that Cecile is going to go to Sebastian's aunt's house for brunch to meet up with Antoinette. And while they're there, Sebastian arrives. He makes like these sexual innuendos again to her, and it like freaks her out. She runs off. Yeah. But while they're there, the aunt needs people to go volunteer at this old folks home that she usually volunteers at.
She gets up and she's like, "Oh no, what am I gonna do? We don't have enough volunteers at the
retirement
elderly
home.
shelter,
right?
The retirement home, but I have tickets to the show." And Sebastian's like, "Oh no, that's terrible. Sucks."
Right. And she's
like, "Oh, well, I have an idea. Why don't you and Antoinette go?"
Antoinette's like, "Oh, of course." And Sebastian's like, totally, can't wait.
Super excited.
He's very upset. And the two get split up while they're at the retirement home, and we see Sebastian there. He's doing a crossword puzzle by himself, and he pretends that he played all these games with this like patient who has dementia, and he's like, "Have you played backgammon?" She's like, "Oh, we did." She's like,
"Yeah, you beat me 3 times."
Yeah.
And then he's like, "And then after that, I had sex with your daughter." She's like, "Excuse me? I said, do you want some water?"
He's the worst.
He is a horrible human being.
The worst.
She's like, "Oh no, I'm fine. I'm fine." Poor Mrs. Beverly.
So on their way back from the retirement home,
Miss Sugarman, some shit like that.
I like Mrs. Beverly.
Mrs. Beverly, then. That's who she'll be.
So on their way back from that retirement home, Sebastian pretends that he had a great time. But again, Antoinette's not buying it. She's basically like, he basically decides to tell the truth. He's like, "Fine, I hated it. I hate charity work." And she's like, "It's okay. Like, you're not a bad person because you don't like it."
You are a bad person, but not liking charity work doesn't make you a bad person.
And she was like, "You need to stop taking everything so serious." And then he's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." And then she starts making these like funny faces at him, and he like starts to laugh, and they're having a good time, and
his walls really start coming down. And it's like, okay, see, this is the thing with movies where people play like fake and phony 1 minute, and then we see who they really are another minute, because now it starts getting like misconstrued, and I'm like, okay, are you faking laughing
this
with
one
her?
is confusing,
right? Are you really falling for her right now? Like, which one is it? Or are you still just playing the game of pretending to like her?
Do you know what's going on?
Do you know what time it is?
Do you know what time
Do you really know how to play backgammon?
Do you know how to spell backgammon? Do you know what that is?
Crazy.
But the scene ends off with the two holding hands as they drive off into the sunset. So it's not looking good for either of them, because they both don't want to be in love like each other.
Fully. Oh yeah, that's so true. Neither of them want to like each other
fully. But anyhow, so that scene's over. So Catherine goes to visit Cecile. She's trying to continue her plan, and Cecile tells Catherine that Sebastian took advantage of her last night, and that he went down on her and all this, and Catherine's like joyous to hear this. She's like, haha. But Catherine like convinces Cecile that he didn't take advantage of you. Like, you actually had a good time. Tell me everything about it. Blah, blah, blah.
And Catherine basically tells her to like, hey, it wasn't that bad. Mm-hmm. And look to Sebastian is almost like a tutor. And you can learn a lot from him sexually, and use what you learn from him sexually on Ronald. And Cecile, being the idiot that she is, and she agrees and is like, okay, I'll do that.
Right.
And so the next scene, we see Cecile and Sebastian in bed
Mm-hmm.
again, and now they have just had sex.
First time.
And now Sebastian is now basically her sex tutor.
Yeah, exactly. And like it's funny because like after they do this, she has like I feel like she's like really has a sexually opening.
Yeah,
like,
she's really stepping into
it.
it now. Like she's really like leaning into it now. And she's like, next time I want to be on top.
Yeah.
And she's like really like bugging him, and she's like, but I want to be on top next time. And he pushes her off of him, and he's like, Cecile, this is now what we like to call quiet time.
Like, shut up.
And then she's like, well, did I do something wrong? And he's like, no, but I want you to shut the hell up.
Yeah. And he's like, and she's like, okay, fine. I'm in love with Ronald, and I know you're in love with Antoinette, and that's why I don't care that you don't like me.
Yeah, and then he's like, I'm gonna go shower.
Yeah, he's like, bye.
And then she's like, do you want some company? And he's like, no. She's like, do you want a blowjob? And it's just like, she's just so dumb and naive.
She calls him a prude. She's like, oh, you prude.
And it's just funny. Like, she's so easily manipulated, and it's just very interesting to see her sexual endeavors unfold.
Exactly.
At such a young age.
Such a young age.
At the ripe old age of 15.
15. Poor thing.
Poor
so, Catherine... Wait. So, back at... I'm assuming they're at their aunt's house. Or Sebastian's aunt's house. So,
I don't know where they've been this whole movie. They be at the aunt house, but then they be at Catherine.
Because that's where Antoinette's staying. So
yeah, it'd be too much.
So, Catherine catches Sebastian, like he has binoculars and he's watching Antoinette, read in the garden, and she kind of like notices like he like is into her a little bit, like she's making fun of Antoinette, and he's like, stop it, and she's like,
what's up your butt?
Yeah, where's this coming from? And he admits that he is like kind of falling for her little nicey girl act, and he's not happy with it, and neither is Catherine.
Oh, yeah. She is very concerned.
She's like,
as he's, like, recanting the idea of him, like, falling for her, she's low-key, like...
She's like, I won't fight you.
Yeah, she's like, get it together.
Right.
Because this isn't who we are.
Yeah, this is not what we do here. So, after this interaction, Sebastian goes out to talk to Antoinette while she's, like, outside reading her book. And, like, the two kiss for the first time. And
oh yeah, he walk up on her and just kiss her.
This is my favorite kiss. That kiss, I was like, oh, that's kind of cute because it comes out of nowhere.
Yeah,
he's just like, hey girl, and he's like gives her like 2 kisses on like a right cheek and a left cheek, and then he like leans into it,
just goes for it,
and she's just kissing him back for a little bit, and then eventually she pushes him off. She's like, whoa, and Sebastian's like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean this to happen, and Antoine's like, me neither, and then he like snaps. He's like, why can't we be together?
He's like, you know what? I'm not sorry. And he's like, why can't we be together? Don't you have feelings for me?
Right.
And he was like, just admit it. And she's like, okay, relax, calm down. She's like, yeah, okay, I have feelings for you. And then he's like, well, why can't we just be together?
You're not married.
She was like, yeah, and he was like, we're not married. Or he's like, you're not married unless you're married to Jesus. And then she was like, don't do that. That's not fair. And then he was like, well, why can't we be together? And she was like, you want to know why we can't be together, Sebastian? Because I just cannot control myself when I'm around you.
It has been like 3 days. Like, how long is it?
Like, it's literally, it has to have been a week and a half.
It's not even a full
Maybe
summer.
2.
I will say about Dangerous Liaisons, like when they're doing this, it's been a while. Because the mother lover's writing letters.
Oh.
Like sometimes he has to leave and he can't like flirt with her, but he like writes her letters and like they have to travel. Like the love is building. It's building up. Like
this is over a year's time.
Yeah, like on this movie, it's like
modern
3 days.
Day age.
She's like, I can't control myself when I'm around you. I'm like, y'all have only been around each other for a total of 5 hours.
3 p.m.
Right.
God.
So after she says this, Antoinette storms off. And that night, Sebastian goes to Antoinette's room to say goodbye because he's going back to the city. He might go, to Europe.
He's like, I might vacation in the south of France for the summer, but I can't stay here and play any of your little games.
And her games.
She's playing games. She's the one playing games here. He's got a whole plot to take this girl's virginity just for shits and giggles.
Her games.
But she's the one
She's
playing
got games. Interesting.
Men like him are dangerous. Oh my God.
You're going to say, keep him away from me? That's your
like,
thing. That's your thing.
Oh my God. Keep him away from me.
Keep him away from me.
Do you hear him? Oh my God. That is so triggered. It doesn't make any sense.
And he's really pulling on this whole upset thing.
Have you ever seen that? I'm sorry. Have you ever seen that meme of Pocahontas? And it's like when the colonizers arrive and like the Native Americans are like, these white men are dangerous.
Yes.
That's how I feel about him. These white men are dangerous.
Yes. I have
Like,
seen that.
oh my God.
Yes.
I'm not playing
very
your
dangerous.
games. And then, anywho, so Antoinette's like, what games am I playing?
Right.
And then he's basically like, you're a hypocrite. Here you are in your manifesto. I wish they would stop calling her little article in 17 magazine a manifesto, because Jesus Christ, it's just an article. But anywho, and he's like, in your manifesto, you're talking about how you're waiting for love, but here love is standing right in front of you, and you're turning your back on it. And he's like, and I don't want to play this game anymore with you. And then she's like, I don't want to sit in on bad terms, yada, yada, yada. And he's like, I've had enough. So he walks to the door and she stops him.
Because she really falls for the whole true love thing. Because she's like, you're right. I do want true love, and I think I love you. So, like, you are right.
After a week's time.
It's very manipulative of him, because he knows that's going to work.
Yes, manipulation. Here he is again. Keep him away from me.
Manipulation.
Keep him away from me. But that was a good point, though. He's like, here you are talking about love this and love that.
Yeah, and she was also
here
like,
I am.
that is a good point.
Yeah, she's like, valid points are being made here.
Right.
So she stops him.
Mm-hmm.
And then she kisses him, and then they have this long, very sensual, lingering kiss. And then she backs up, and then she sits on the bed, and she unbuttons her blouse, and basically is like, all right, take me.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Here you are. You're saying I'm a hypocrite. You're saying here's love, so love me, baby.
Right.
And he stops, and he's like, I'm sorry, I can't do this.
Actually,
Apparently, I can't do this.
Yeah.
So he can't.
He runs off.
He scurries off.
Leaving Antoinette in her bedroom, crying.
And confused.
Yes. And he's like, he goes back to his room, looks in the mirror, and he's like, get your stuff together.
And so this is where I think we finally see him, because honestly, I think everything up until this point has been BS from him. So when he first kissed her and he was like, why can't we be together? I think that was all BS.
Yeah. I agree.
But now he's realizing, okay, I can't have sex with this girl because I don't want to hurt her, because I actually do in fact have feelings for her.
I do like her.
So this is now we're actually seeing he's actually really taking a step back and realizing that he does have feelings for her, and that he needs to
figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to reassess the situation.
Because the narcissist and the manipulation that he likes to play with other girls, it ain't really working on her.
Mm-hmm, it ain't. So the next morning, unbeknownst to Sebastian, we see Antoinette getting to a limousine, and she apparently is going to go stay with some friends. So while she's doing that, Sebastian's in his room. He is falling asleep. Because throughout the movie, we see him with a journal.
Yes.
So at this point, we really see it. He's falling asleep because he writes in his journal, which will
journal is very pivotal to the movie.
Will come to play a big part.
We failed to mention it.
Yeah.
But it's very pivotal to this film. His journal.
Yes. And he wakes
up. Prized possession.
Very important. Details, honey. Details. He writes about all his little escapades.
All of his conquests, all of his sexual conquests. By the way, these two, Sebastian and Catherine, are like sex addicts.
They're crazy.
And he writes about all of his sexual conquests in his journal. Mm-hmm. So
they're crazy people. So he wakes to Catherine, which she wants to read this book so bad.
Yeah,
She's like trying
really
to grab it, but he's like,
his journal.
But she wakes him up and she's like, how was last night? Did you sleep with Antoinette? And he's like, he's so truthful. He's like, I shot her down, actually. I had the chance, but I shot her down. And she's like, you're literally a chump. You're a loser. Why didn't you sleep with her? And then she tells him, well, she left. She gone. She's gonna stay with some friends. You done drove her off, and that was your one chance. You big freaking loser. And Sebastian's like, whoa. I got to go get my girl. He calls up Greg because, he's friends with Antoinette. And he's like, where did she go? Greg at first is like, leave her alone. He's like, I will murder you. And
he's like, I will literally tell the world you're gay.
Yeah. He's like, okay.
He's like, okay, fine.
She's staying at a friend's place, so-and-so. She just took a train, and she just took a train to whatever the hell. And and Sebastian somehow
wherever the hell she going.
Yeah, Sebastian knows the train system like the back of his hands apparently, and he knows exactly where she's gonna get off. So he's in his car. He's able to catch her at the train station. A very dramatic scene. She's just got off the train, coming up the escalator. She's like not looking around. She's like, oh, right, left, and she looks up and
he's at the top of the escalator waiting for her.
And
so
she's like, fancy meeting you here.
And he was like, yeah, well, what did he say? Well, yeah, I'm in love or something.
He's like she's like, I'm impressed. But he's like, well, I'm in love. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that statement was
real?
No,
that was real.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because he ran after her. He didn't have to. Yeah, it was real.
He did all that.
And the two kiss. It's like they're alone in the train station by themselves as they kiss.
Literally, time stands still when they kiss.
Still, right. And then
they're the only people in the train station.
Lovely. It's so cute. And then the next scene we see the two are like in bed and they're having sex and they're very much in love and it's a very cute.
Oh my
scene.
God! I must say, I have never in all of the movies I've seen. In every film, every sex scene, it don't matter which one. I ain't never seen a sex scene as passionate as this one.
One's giving.
And oh my God, it is so good. And I think, I mean, it literally has to have been because they were obviously together when this movie was filmed.
Yeah.
But like that chemistry between them two in that scene, you cannot fake.
It's
like
natural.
I don't care who it is. I have never seen that much passion behind a sex scene in my entire life. Like, I was like, am I in here with them? Right. I'm like, do I need to leave the room and give them their space?
Let me leave first.
Because they gave their all in that sex scene, and it was phenomenal. It was chef's kiss, and I was like, oh my God.
So yeah.
I was like, this is what love is.
Stunning.
Like, you could, like, it was like literally, I was like, oh my God, they're literally making love and it's so beautiful. Like, oh my God. Like, it's the best sex scene I've ever seen in any film, like, hands down.
Yeah.
It's
very
unquestionable.
Cute. Their chemistry is.
Their chemistry is undeniable, obviously, because they were actually in love.
Yeah.
They got married, like, months later after the film came out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they got married in, like, if the film came out in, like, March, they got married in, like, June.
Love.
Yes.
So cute.
So they were like, you know.
Yeah, they were actually in love.
They were at the height of their love.
This wasn't no game, son.
It was not.
And so after they had just sex, Sebastian sends Antoinette off in her limousine. The two kiss. And Catherine is waiting on the balcony and she sees this and she doesn't look very happy.
She's pissed.
She's peeping game. So anywho, the next morning, Sebastian's heading home with some flowers in his hand. He's very happy. He's about to walk into his room where he hears Catherine having sexual relations very loudly. And he's like, clearly, let me investigate.
Yeah, clearly she's making all this noise. So she wants me to see what the hell is going on.
So he walks into the room and he's like, who's in here? Because I heard everything. Who you hiding from me? Clearly you wanted me to find them. So then we see, or Sebastian finds Ronald hiding in the room, and Sebastian finds Ronald hiding in the room. Ronald runs out. He's like, y'all weird. I'm out. It's like, y'all weird. I'm out. So Catherine thinks that Sebastian is there to, claim his prize and to sleep with her since he won his bet. But he's like, I don't really want to have sex right now. I'm good.
Yeah, he's like, rain check.
And Catherine's like, you know what? The red flags are
pissed.
Yes.
She is pissed.
What the hell?
She was like, now that I finally am willing to offer myself to you, you don't want me?
That is
of course, coming from any narcissist, they'd be pissed.
Right.
So she is not happy.
Not happy. And it doesn't help. So then she walks in on Sebastian on the phone with Antoinette. And he's like, I love you. And she's like, that I love you sounded way too real.
Way too genuine.
I'm seeing a pattern here of love. And I'm not
here for it.
Yeah, we're supposed to be playing games, but you're being legit.
And she's literally like, what has become of you?
How dare you? So she's very upset, and she's like, you don't love me anymore.
I thought that was so weird. I was like, at what point did y'all love each other?
I think they have this. I think that in Catherine's head, he is the one person that understands her, who sees her for what she really is. And I feel like if she loses Sebastian, then she has nobody. Because eventually, he's also going to see how a terrible person she is, and then who will she have?
But not you don't love me anymore. When was y'all ever in love?
I think I feel like love isn't the word. I feel like she says that just to say it, but I feel like you don't you don't need me anymore. I don't control you anymore.
Maybe.
But like I feel like love is
you don't get off on me anymore.
Yeah, I feel like love is she doesn't even feel love. I just feel like it's a word that she uses to manipulate him, but I feel like she's like, I'm gonna lose my control over you.
Right. So when she's like, you don't love me anymore, and he was like, okay, don't get ahead of yourself.
Yes.
I'm still the same person.
It's just a
and she's
badge.
like, no, you're not. She was like, you're gonna throw away your entire reputation for this girl.
This little
She was
girl.
like, had you have done this right, you would have left this school as a legend. You would have left Manchester as a king on top, but now you're just gonna leave Manchester as a loser.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, once she threatens the idea of his reputation, he don't like that.
He doesn't like that. And then she also
Because they're both narcissists.
and she also mentions she threatened him too. She's like, if you try to date her, I'm gonna call the headmaster and tell him everything about you and all your little secrets and how is she gonna survive knowing how's the dad gonna let you
relationship gonna work?
Yeah, the dad's gonna hate you,
Knowing what kind of man
person you are, and then think about her reputation
and,
from dating you. And what are you gonna do now? Give school tours and be a good person?
She's like, oh yeah. She's like, what are you gonna do? Give
No.
campus tours?
Right, but what would he do after that?
No, but seriously,
Like, would he be a good person?
yeah. How?
that'd be
Like
weird.
literally, how was that?
How would that?
That's why the ending is the way it is.
Yeah,
because
I'm
like,
like-
how would this have worked?
Because it wouldn't have lasted too long. Because what is he
This
gonna?
has been a short-lived relationship,
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen.
he's a bad person. So Sebastian, after having this great one-on-one with Catherine, heads over to Antoinette's home that she's staying at, and he's like, "I don't love you anymore. It was all a lie. I used you for sex. I don't love you. Everything I said was a lie.
I'm in love with someone else.
I'm in love with someone else." And Antoinette's like,
I don't believe you.
I don't know how to make this any clearer to you. You mean nothing to me. You were just... You were just a conquest.
You're such a coward. Look at yourself. You're shaking.
And then she's like, I hate you. And she slaps him. She's like, leave. Get out.
yeah.
And then he tries to like stop her. And she was like, don't touch me. Get out.
Okay, I will say. So this scene in
Was
Danger
improvised.
Lee's... Oh, was it?
Oh,
I wasn't gonna say
that's
that.
not what you were going to say?
Oh, cute. No, I wasn't gonna say that. This scene in Dangerous Liaison,
Oh.
it is rough.
Oh, is it? How so?
He she's like a very, so Antoinette's character in Dangerous Liaison, the version of her, is very upset. And he's basically like, I don't love you. He's like dragging her, pushing him off her. He's almost beating her.
Oh.
Like, it's like really bad. It's like super intense. He's like almost beating her, like to the point, like he's being super aggressive. I'm like, how could you ever love someone like that? Like, he's being borderline abusive, if not
I
abusive.
thought his character in Dangerous Liaisons, like the Sebastian version, was like 10 times worse than this.
Oh, it's 10 times worse.
Like, he is horrible.
Like, no, it is bad. He does fall in love with her, but it is bad. Like, he, in that scene, like, is like literally pushing her, like, aggressively, like, throwing her on the bed, like, get off of me.
Ugh.
It's to the point where she because in that movie, she dies of sadness.
She does?
Of her broken heart. She gets ill.
He don't die?
He dies too.
Oh my god.
But they both die. They both die. She gets really ill and sad, and like just from the sadness, she dies. Just like sick. And then he dies fighting basically the same way.
Right.
In a duel, but yeah. But that scene in that movie is so intense. I was like, oh Lord. Is he allowed to touch her like this?
I didn't know that.
But he like really, but you know, that reputation back then is even more important. Like, he really ruined her reputation. She's married, and people are definitely going to talk about that. And she freaking died. She freaking dies.
Gotcha.
Anywho, so later that day, Sebastian is waiting for Catherine in her room, and he tells her he's in everything with Antoinette. And he says Catherine was right the whole time, that, you know, he can't change. This is who he is.
Let's celebrate.
Let's celebrate.
He's like upset, like he's very devastated, but at the same time trying to put on like a front, like,
right,
oh, let's have sex.
I think this is his comfort zone. This is all he knows. He's like,
all he knows.
He's like, I didn't want this, but like, whatever.
But like, here we are.
Here we are, back to square one.
Yeah,
whatever.
He's like, I'm back to who I am now. I'll get over it.
It's easier than changing.
It's easier.
So she's like, I'm sorry, I can't meet with you right now. I'm expecting someone. He's like, who? Ronald. She's like, you yes, I am. We have a thing. And then Sebastian informs her that he's already spoken with Ronald. And after arranging a meetup with Ronald and Cecile, that he will no longer be coming over. And he's like, I guess you do always get dumped for the innocent little twats, don't you? Because Cecile at this point has taken 2 of Catherine's men. Ooh! Court Reynolds and Ronald.
Ooh, that's a hit.
Girl, like what is it about Cecile that everyone just
But
loves?
in Cecile's defense, she had Ronald first, so
I will say that, but I guess Catherine just thought that she could woo him, which she kind of was, but once Cecile came back in the picture, he was like, you know what, I'm gonna go with this one. So Sebastian is basically happy that they can be miserable together, but Catherine's like, you know what, I'm not miserable. You know, I've won, and Sebastian's like, in what way have you won? Like, I don't get it. She's basically like,
my triumph isn't over her. It's over you.
Come again?
You were very much in love with her. And you're still in love with her. But it amused me to make you ashamed of it. You gave up on the first person you ever loved because I threatened your reputation. Don't you get it? You're just a toy, Sebastian. A little toy I like to play with. And now you've completely blown it with her. I think it's the saddest thing I've ever heard. Cheers.
You've been playing checkers, baby, but I've been playing chess.
Ooh, baby. And of course, you know, the mood's pretty ruined, so the 2 don't have sex.
Yeah, like there's no...
Because that was the whole point of this whole bet.
Yeah, that was the whole point of this bet was for him to have sex with Antoinette. And if he could have sex with Antoinette, that he could have sex with Catherine, but that's not happening anymore.
Back to Dave's latest song. So I will say, so after he does that scene where they break up, he goes, Sebastian.
Wait, who breaks up? Catherine?
No,
Antoinette and Sebastian?
Yes, in the old version of the Dave's latest song. Sebastian, they're both names of Sebastian, goes to Catherine's character in Danger Liaison, and he's like, I want to have sex now. Oh, it's so intense. He's like, we are having sex right now. Oh, I don't care. And she's like, how dare you come into my house? And he's like, if we don't have sex, this is war. And she's like, so be it.
Oh.
It's really intense. He's like angry. He storms in and he was like, literally pissed because I didn't punch this girl. And if we don't have sex right now, and she's like, how dare you? And she's basically like, you loved her, didn't you? But that character is also upset that he ever loved somebody else. Oh. That's why they do, like, I don't know, she's upset.
Yeah,
like,
they're just like this manipulation game.
Yeah, and I will say,
they both want to play puppet master, and neither of them wants to be the puppet.
But he's playing the game, but the Catherine character this is her life.
Oh.
It's like she is the mentor, like in Dangerous Liaison, like she mentored him.
Oh, okay.
She's the original OG. Like they once had a little fling in the movie. It's kind of similar to this, but they're not brother and sister. But it's never happened anything, and like he's been wanting to sleep with her, but she's like, no,
silly boy.
Yeah, but once she finds out he falls in love with someone else, she's like feels betrayed, and she's like, frick you, and she's like, lost everything. But it is intense. I'm gonna watch it. So I was like,
it was a lot,
and like literally, he was like, this is war. And she was like, so be it. And I was like,
not they squaring each other up.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So Sebastian now realizes that breaking up with Antoinette was a mistake. He's been manipulated, like he's been manipulating Antoinette. How does it feel? And he goes to try to like win her back. He's unable to speak with Antoinette, but he leaves with her his journal and a letter that basically says like he's only happy with her. Everything has been a lie. And the journal will explain how bad of a person he is so that she can forgive him, kind of. Like, I'm laying it out on the table. Here's my journal. My biggest, darkest secrets. This is how everything plays out.
Yeah, he's like, my most prized possession. I've never been able to love anyone but you. You're the only person I've been able to love.
The truth will set you free.
These kids need therapy.
The truth will set you free.
Why is this the first person you've ever loved?
Yeah, poor thing.
Ugh.
That's fine, but
No.
Well, I have to have people have sex with. Yeah, it's a little intense.
This is crazy.
Okay. So that night, I guess it's the same night, Catherine calls up Ronald and says that Sebastian was acting crazy. He's upset and he hit her. And he's like, wait, what? Da, 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 da. And then she also says...
Wait, what?
Wait, what? What's going on? And then she's also like, can you come over? I also need to tell you something he did to Cecile, or like, there's more. And Ronald's like, huh? Okay. So he's like, he gets out of bed to go meet up with Catherine, and then he rolls over and we see that he was sleeping in the same bed with Cecile, which is kind of cute.
How old is this man?
How old is this man?
Because she's 15.
I'm hoping he's gonna do pre-Juilliard.
What does that even mean?
So Juilliard's a college.
I know, but what the hell is pre-Juilliard?
I think that's a summer program. I honestly think he's about to. He's in high school.
There's no way he's a high schooler.
He has to be a senior.
He literally looks like he's 35.
Girl, you said she was 26.
In real life, but not in the movie. She could pass for a 15-year-old. She could pass for a high schooler, but he cannot.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't think anyone. I honestly, figuring out the age always takes me out.
Nobody in this movie should be having this much sex because they're all freaking 12 and they're all sex addicts.
Well, what else will you do? We already have all this money.
When you have all this money, you have nothing else.
Money, honey.
But anywho, so Ronald, he kisses Cecile and then he goes to meet Catherine.
Yes.
The next morning, Sebastian has spent the night staying outside of Cecile's window.
Antoinette's.
Oh, excuse me. He's spent the night outside of Antoinette's window and he finally heads home. And then so Antoinette, she finally gets the journal. She reads it.
She sees
him. So she finally, she decides to chase after him. So while Sebastian was walking home, this is just like everyone's meeting each other
at the same time, right?
At the Grand Central Station in New York. It's not Grand Central Station, but everybody's
the streets of New York.
The streets of New York, everybody's meeting each other.
New York is so small, you know.
So Sebastian, he's heading home. Antoinette's chasing after him, but he doesn't know she's after him.
Right. She's not like, Sebastian's just like trying to catch up with him.
Yeah, she's trying to catch up with him. And then meanwhile, Ronald's on the hunt for Sebastian.
I guess he must have just left Catherine's place, and because he's going home, he's leaving Catherine's place. I guess like they kind of ran into each other that's how I think.
On the walk home.
In Manhattan.
Yeah.
Only so many rich apartments.
Oh, only so many. So then Ronald finally bumps into Sebastian and he confronts him, and Sebastian don't know what's going on.
Right. He's like, hey man,
Ronald,
I'm having a long night.
He's like, hey Ronald, what's up? And then he's like, Cecile, no, Catherine told me everything. I know that you hit her. And Sebastian's like, what? Hit her? And he's like, look, man, you don't know what's going on here. And then Ronald's like, and Catherine also told me that you slept with Cecile. And then Sebastian's like, well,
also
okay.
I'm like, so
that
what?
part might be true.
But I'm like, so what? That's not your girlfriend.
Right. Yeah. But you also slept with Catherine. So if we're doing like an eye for an eye here, like, yeah, I slept with Cecile.
And you also slept with Cecile.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, we're all sleeping with Cecile. And then you slept with Catherine. Everyone's sleeping with everyone here.
What's the big deal? I'm sorry.
Okay? We're all sleeping with each other.
Mm-hmm.
All right? But anywho. So then Ronald's like, I knew it. So then he punches Sebastian, and then they get into this like battle royale. And then that's when Cecile, that's when Antoinette catches up with them, and she sees Ronald hit Sebastian. Sebastian goes down. She runs up on Ronald. She's like, hey, stop it. Leave my man alone. And then it's like a tussle.
Let them fight, girl.
Yes. So then Sebastian and Ronald are still fighting. Ronald kind of like hits Antoinette out of the way, and then Antoinette falls into the streets of New York. And as she falls, there is a taxi cab, a yellow taxi cab approaching fast and steadily upon her while she's laying in the street. And Sebastian gets up. He sees Cecile. God damn it. He sees Antoinette.
Oh, I didn't catch that one.
He sees Antoinette lying in the street. And as the moments before she is about to get hit by this cab, he pushes her and jumps in front of it. And then he gets hit by the cab. But I want to point out, he gets hit by this cab.
He rolls over.
Car. He hits like you know when you get hit by a car and like you go over, you go on top of the car. He shatters like the
glass.
What's the front
windshield.
window? The windshield. He shatters the windshield, and then he gets hit, and then he lands on the ground, right?
And all I thought was, damn, Ronald going to jail.
I was like, damn, they're going a little...
Ronald going to jail. They're going to throw that black man
going
in
to jail,
jail.
Ronald's going to jail. Ronald's going to jail. Ronald's going to jail.
Ronald, the only black
jail.
character this whole movie is going to jail.
Ronald's going to jail. Ronald's going to jail.
Damn, Ronald. You done mess with these white folks. They gonna put you in prison.
You done mess with these Upper East Side highfalutin people.
And they gonna throw you in jail for this.
But anywho, so you think, he done got hit by a car, measly concussion.
Because he's still talking to her.
Yeah. So
he's like, I love you.
So she runs over to him. Antoinette, she's like, oh my God, Sebastian. He's like, he's got a little gash on his forehead, a little blood. And he's like crying. And he's like, Antoinette, I love you. She's like, I love you too. And they're both crying. It's like, oh, how sweet. He's like, oh, we gotta take him to the hospital. He's concussed.
He's literally has like a little scrape on his head.
Like literally, like you got hit with like, I don't know, something sharp,
like a punch. It's like the punch. This is like the accident from a punch.
Yeah,
not even from a car.
Nothing too serious. I'm like, we're gonna bring him to the hospital, get him checked out. Nothing. Cut scene.
We're at the boy's motherfucking funeral. Dead.
He's dead.
Died.
The boy. I wish we could insert the video of him getting hit by this car. Cause I swear to God, he could, if he really wanted to, he could have got up and walked to the hospital his dang self.
They killed him.
They
really killed his character.
He's dead.
They could have done it any other way.
He's literally speaking perfect English. He's like, I love you, Antoinette. I love you.
He's not.
I love you, Antoinette. He's
not
perfectly
like
fine.
Passed out or like
it's
unconscious.
Not a daze.
So like, where am I? It's like, hey girl, I love you.
He's like, I love you. She's like, I love you too. Cut scene. We're at the boy's funeral.
Death.
Like what? Like the car was going like 30 miles per hour. It's not a death type
he
of
should
hit.
have broken legs, broken ribs, but dead?
That's a no. A concussion, 100%.
Coma. Maybe.
Broken leg.
Max a coma.
We're hitting
at
a
max
reach.
A coma.
We're hitting a reach if we're talking coma. Like it's a reach.
Yes.
But we can get away with it. Death?
Ugh.
It's not adding up.
Not seeing it. Not seeing that for his character.
I'm not seeing it.
Not the accidents and the injuries don't match.
But nonetheless,
the
accident with the death toll doesn't add up. It doesn't reach. It doesn't equate. But nonetheless, he's dead.
So we're at his funeral.
And I must say before we continue, I think when I was younger. When I was a young whippersnapper, I hate a movie with a death, especially when it's the main character and it's like a love story. I hate when they kill I hate it. As an adult woman, he should have died.
I think it makes sense.
As foul as a human being he did not deserve to live.
Oh dang,
he was foul.
I think if he would have lived, Catherine was going to ruin him. Either way.
Yeah,
she was going to ruin him.
I don't think their relationship would have survived him living.
Oh yeah,
there would have been no happily ever after for them.
I don't think so. He would have to make complete 180. And honestly, he seemed like he loved her, but I don't think he was a good. I wasn't seeing a super good person.
There's no redemption, like. It's like, yeah, you fell in love, but you're still a horrible person.
Yeah.
So you need to die for your wrongdoings. Like, you literally, for sport, would literally just sleep with girls and then post their nudie pictures on the internet.
That's psychotic.
That is, you literally go up to a girl and be like, hey, you're so gorgeous. Woo them. Tell them they're gorgeous. Tell them you love them. To ruin their life. For the sole intention to have sex and to ruin their lives.
10 out of 10.
Death upon you and both your houses.
A death on both your houses.
He deserves to die.
Yeah, I think his character. When
I was younger, I was like, oh my God, why would they do that?
It's the only way they could go.
Now as an adult woman.
What else?
Men like him should be eradicated from this earth. But yes, we're at his funeral now. He's dead.
So we're going out for the funeral, and then we see Catherine is in the school bathroom. She's doing a little bump of coke before, because she's before she heads out
for
there.
his eulogy.
Exactly. And to her surprise, someone else is in the bathroom with her, and then walks in Antoinette.
She emerges from the bathroom stall. Get this.
What?
These two have literally never met.
Yes, they never met.
This whole film, these two have never crossed paths.
So, of course, Catherine knows who Cecile is, but Catherine doesn't think that Cecile knows who she is. But and Catherine's
we just said Cecile. So Catherine knows who Antoinette is, but Catherine doesn't know that Antoinette also knows who Catherine is.
And she knows this because
of the journal.
Yeah, and Antoinette's playing stupid. She's like, "Oh, hey, aren't you the boys who died sister?" And then Catherine's like, "Did you know Sebastian?" She's like, "You can say that." They're both playing stupid.
Yeah, they're both playing dumb.
But Catherine really thinks that Antoinette has no idea what's going on.
Right.
But Antoinette's the one holding the cards at this point.
And so Antoinette was like, well, if you ever need someone to talk to, I'm here for you if you ever want to talk about, what's going on and everything. Mm-hmm. And then Antoinette tells Catherine, she's like, because, when I'm going through a rough patch, I just turn to Jesus and he helps me through. Which is the same line. The same crock of shit that Catherine recited at the beginning of this film to Cecile and her mother. And
I'm sure she says it all the time.
Yes, I'm sure that's her go-to speech. Yeah. Like, I love Jesus, and when I'm going through a crisis, I turn to the Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Like, whatever, loser.
So, and Catherine's like, yeah, thanks, sure.
Bye.
Leave me alone.
And I will say she doesn't, because, Antoinette asks her, like, how you doing? Are you okay about your brother's death? She's like, yeah, whatever. I don't think she cares that Sebastian dies.
No, she doesn't give a rat's
I feel like she's kind of happy about it.
She's like,
that's what you get for not loving me.
Yeah, she's like, another day, another dollar. Another one bites the dust.
Yeah.
She's like, you couldn't make it in this cruel world.
If he can't love me, no one can.
Yeah.
Or love, whatever. They do. So, while Catherine is up there giving her eulogy, her fake BS eulogy
about Sebastian.
Yes. She notices the student body or the classmates are being distracted, and someone's coming in and is whispering in people's ears, and then some of the classmates are running off, and then someone else whispers to someone else's ear, and then they run off, and she's getting distracted because she's really trying to put on her show here.
She's really trying to put on a
So how can she put on a show if everyone's distracted? She's like, how are you guys don't care? Are you, what's she saying?
She's like, do you guys have no respect
That's right.
at all?
Which is funny from her because she doesn't even care about any of it.
Right. So she doesn't know why everyone's getting up and running, but while she's trying to give the eulogy, basically the entire
student
body, the entire funeral. What do you call the people in the crowd at a funeral?
The attendees?
The guests?
The guests, sure.
I don't know.
The guests.
The entire...
Because we're also at school, too. I will say. They're having this funeral.
The funeral is at the school. Yeah. So the entire student body, everybody from the funeral gets up and leaves to see what's all the hoopla.
All the students.
So, of course, Catherine follows to see why she's not able to finish her eulogy.
Yeah, she runs out like she owns the place.
Walks out, she finds that Sebastian's journal has been published to the entire student body, and in the journal it speaks of all of the vile plans and scheming that him and Catherine have partaken in. It also mentions her necklace that she wears that's a cross that
she's a coke whore.
Cocaine in it. The world now knows she's a coke whore. They know she's a slut. They know that she's a fake. She's a fraud. She's not little Miss Goody Two Shoes that she likes to project and perceive everyone to be, or she wants everyone to perceive her to
she's
be.
She's really the evil person.
A horrible person. And cat's out of the bag.
And she's reading this, crying. She's upset. The headmaster walks out. I'm assuming it's the headmaster walks out and untwists her cross thing, and he sees
pours out all the cocaine.
He's like, oh, girl, really?
And literally the entire student body is standing in front of her, looking at her in ridicule. And
they're looking at her like she's
and Cecile walks up, she hands her the published journal and kind of is like, haha, and walks away. So this is really a full circle moment.
I kind of felt bad for her.
Oh.
And this is what I will say why. So Dangerously is on the other movie. The same thing happens. Sebastian's character dies, leaving, and then he publishes the letters that they wrote about their little escapades. And then in that movie, she goes to like the play. And like a play, you know, it's a big like social event back in the day. And she walks in, she's like, "Ooh, I love to be out." And she sits down and everyone goes silent. And they all look at her like she's crazy. Like she's the worst thing since sliced bread. Like it's giving the vibe like, we ain't doing this play until you leave.
Oh wow.
It's intense. And she goes home and she is taking off her makeup. And the reason why I do feel bad for her character in that version of the same person and Catherine in this one is that they get 100% of
the blame,
the hate.
Yeah, I was just about to say
and
that.
Like,
because here he is, he's just as bad, if not worse than her.
He just died.
And he just dies. So, of course, in death, it happens with everybody. In death, you're always, like, a little bit glorified.
Yeah, and he's a male, so he gets off scot-free. Yeah, and he's a male,
so he gets off scot-free, but here she is the woman. And like how she mentioned earlier, she's like, you know, men can do whatever they want, but of course, me enjoying sex and being manipulative, blah, 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 blah. I can't. And then this is a testament to that.
It is... Like
it's unfair.
I'm gonna have to show you the end of the. It is intense.
I don't think I want to see it.
It is sad. I'm like, it's just not fair.
Because it really isn't. It's sexist. It really is.
And I will say, this Sebastian in this version in Cruel Intentions is softer. It's way soft. The Sebastian in the original
is horrific.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Even terrible to his lover. Like, really bad. She dies. They never reconcile. Oh, right. They never reconcile. She goes in the hospital, she dies, he gets shot. They never reconcile.
Dang.
She literally dies soon after he dies. Like, there's
At least this one, they had, like, a moment.
A moment.
Yeah.
Or, like, they don't... and I feel really bad for her, and I wonder what's going to happen to her. Catherine. Like, is she gonna be sent off?
I wonder what's gonna happen.
Like, she's never gonna come back from this. And I also wondered, like, when she's reading it and she's crying, I wonder if she's like crying because like, oh my god, he's exposing me, or crying because this is all true. I was like, is she crying because like I am a bad person, or is she crying because like my
no
crap?
No, she's crying because she got exposed.
Yeah. And I also will say, maybe a reason why everyone hates her more than they hate Sebastian, because Sebastian in this movie,
dead. You can't hit a dead person.
Well, Sebastian in this movie and the other one, everyone knows their reputation, so they never pretended to be something else. Like, so in Cruel Intentions and Dangerous Liaison, they're both acting like they're nice people, and like they're doing
always
stuff.
Put up a front.
Yeah, but they have always known that he was a bad person.
We always knew who he was.
Yeah, we already knew the journal.
Yeah.
We just didn't know about her part. And I was like, maybe she's finally getting her comeuppance, because this is all coming out because literally no one knew who she was.
That makes sense.
And like, Sebastian was kind of just a pawn in her game, because she's playing chess. He was playing checkers. But I don't know. But I think she got a lot of it. They're a little too much.
No, she definitely did. She got all the blame.
Yeah.
Because you can't blame both of them now because he's dead. So she got to take both of their blames.
And then Dangerous Liaison, Uma Thurman's character, she's so put off by the whole thing that she becomes a nun.
That's hilarious.
She was she did her education through the nun school, but she was supposed to get married. But like after all that happened, she was like, "Oh yeah, I'm just gonna become a nun.
I'm just gonna join the nunnery."
After watching that lady die, because she was like, the lady was dying at the nun, whatever you call it, and she was like, she felt bad. She was like, "I'm gonna become a nun.
I'm just gonna join the nunnery."
This is terrible.
Interesting,
but Catherine has been brought down to her knees. I don't know.
Yeah, she's been exposed for the true villain.
Who she is.
That she is.
And then the final scene, we see Antoinette driving in Sebastian's old car. I'm not sure how that
The 1956 Jaguar Roadster.
I don't know how she became in possession of this car. I'm not sure who decided to give her the car. I was confused. Because, like...
when you have money, who cares?
It's my property. It's not... Y'all weren't even officially boyfriend and girlfriend. But, like, as she's driving off, she's having, like, these flashbacks of the
fond memories.
The little time they had with each other.
The 1 week time that they had together.
Exactly.
I wonder how do you go Do you love again after that? I don't know.
Yeah, she's 16. I would hope so. She'll bounce back.
Will she?
Yeah.
That's an intense love.
That is intense love. She'll get over it. I mean, it's only 2 weeks.
I mean, yeah, but so much passion in those 2 weeks.
I know. But he wasn't that good of a person.
Oh, we know he wasn't.
Yeah, I'm glad he dies because there was no redemption.
Oh, there was no way he could live.
Like, I think if he would have lived, he would have the same fate as Catherine. A little less because Catherine, of course, is new to this, not true to this. She's new to this. People know, she's new to people knowing that she's a bad person.
Yes,
but Catherine is not unable to exist in this society as people know that she's a bad person. Sebastian is a bad person, and people still welcome him and want him to come places. But Catherine is unable to do that.
It's a man's world.
It's a man's world.
They can do anything and everything. That's why Sebastian died. Whatever. Okay.
How do you think about this movie now that you're older? Do you still like it as much?
Yes. I think the way he should have died should have actually been a death that would actually have caused death. Mm-hmm. Getting hit by a car that's moving 15 miles per hour, and I literally watched you land on your feet and then fall is not a death that would cause death.
Right.
But yeah, I think he should have died, and I'm happy with how it ended. Because when I was younger, I hated the fact that he died, but it makes sense. He needs to die.
Yeah,
I don't like that Catherine gets all the blame. Honestly,
I don't like that either.
That's my issue.
I feel bad for Catherine.
Yeah, I feel bad for her too.
I hope.
Well, I don't know if I feel bad for her, but I don't like how she gets all the blame.
I kind of feel bad for her, but it's like, what else did she really do? I mean, did she bring down as many people as Sebastian did? She's just one big scheme. I don't know. Because we know Sebastian had many conquests. Did she have? Whatever.
I don't know. They're both sluts.
She kind of did get him killed, but okay. Adios, my love.
Kisses.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.